Okay, okay. So
Yes.
let's get started. Okay, so
Okay.
now first thing about this is now we will only be using now that's like a motto for this. Okay, so which means KISS. Okay, that is what we call it. Okay, not the band or something like keep it stupid simple. Okay, so
Hmm.
that is what they say KISS. Okay, so
Yeah.
like so that way we're only going to use 5 time frames. Okay, we will only be using 5 time frames.
Hmm.
Okay, so that will be the monthly, weekly, daily, 4 hour, and the 1 hour. Okay, so
Okay.
mainly like the monthly, weekly, and the daily will be used for direction. Okay,
Hmm.
and the lower time frames will be used for entries and all that stuff. And also like with this, you can't get tight stop losses all the time. Okay, like sometimes with SMC on gold, we get 10 to 15 pip stop losses, right? But here,
Hmm.
like we always try to have a standard 30 pip loss, stop loss. Okay, so that way
Okay.
even if it gives us a little bit of drawdown, you will have to deal with it. Okay, so can't help it. But
Yeah.
the thing is, the consistency and the win rate this way will increase a lot. Okay,
Yeah.
it will increase so much. Okay, so yeah, now first thing now we'll be using the line chart a lot. Okay,
Hmm.
we will be using the line chart a lot. So like if you don't want to just like go from the candlestick to the line chart, just go to indicators and then I don't know if you already know this is use the moving average. Okay,
Yeah.
use the moving average and set it to, let me see, yeah, set it to length number 1. Okay, so
Yeah.
this can
Okay.
be set it as it is. So see, then you
Hmm.
get the line chart. Okay,
Yeah.
then you get the line chart. So that way, like you you have the candlestick and the line chart both together. Okay,
Yeah.
so you'll
Yeah.
have both of them together.
Hmm.
And the next thing is now with this way, mainly like you can use it anywhere. You can use it anywhere, but mainly we will be using like trading gold and
Hmm.
GBP JPY mainly. Okay,
Okay.
mainly. So because
Okay.
I personally I have tested them on others like GBPUSD and USD, but it does not work that good on them. But on gold, trust me, it's a killer. Okay, on gold you can trade every single move almost. Okay, so on
Okay.
gold it will be very good. Okay, and also like for gold, I'll tell you, the broker I personally use and the one that I think is very high probability to go with is the Saxo broker. Okay, so let me get to it. This one
Success.
right here. Okay, so this is the most accurate one because the thing is now
Okay.
like with the different brokers, okay,
Hmm.
with the different brokers, they will have like the opening times of the candle will be different. So which means the 4 hour candle mainly will be opening at different times of the day. Like for
Yeah.
Wanda, see, it opens at like this my time, that's 3:30. But if you go to Saxo, it'll be another time. Okay, so
Yeah.
we'll be
Yeah.
using Saxo. So stick to one thing. Okay, stick to one thing. Like you're not gonna come here and then get back. No, just stick to one thing. Okay, so I will be using this only. You can see how I'll show you all of this. Okay, I'll show you all of this. Okay, so we'll be using all of this. Okay, so
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay. No
first thing
problem.
first thing now let's get started. Okay, so first thing,
Hmm.
these are like the POIs we use, or as we call them key levels. Okay, we call them key levels,
Hmm.
support and resistance,
Hmm.
or else support, we call it SBR, support broken turns into resistance, or as
Hmm.
RBS. Okay, resistance broken, it turns into support. Okay,
Okay.
so
Yeah.
first thing, a support will look like this. This is how a support would look like. Okay, the V formation, we call it a like V formation or whatever. This right here is what how a support would look like on a line chart. So this area right here will be the support. This will be the key level. Okay,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
this right here will be the resistance. Okay, same thing, this will be something like the A formation. Okay, this right here
Okay.
will be a resistance, and same thing, if a support breaks, if it breaks like this, then it turns into a resistance.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so we call this right here the SPR. Okay, or as a support broken, it turns into resistance. There is a flip zone. Okay, and
Hmm.
same thing in here. If a resistance breaks, let me try it. If a resistance breaks, it will turn into support once again. Okay, so these areas can also be used as POIs. Okay, or as key levels. So remember, these are the these are the only ones actually, the major ones. Okay, the major ones. There
Yeah.
are more. I'll show you. Okay,
Hmm.
so these are the major types of key levels or as POIs that we use. Okay, so
Okay.
like what's the
So
significance behind it? Yeah, yeah.
is that the same as SNR, right?
Yes, this is a SNR. Okay,
Okay.
this is SNR. So
Yeah.
same thing. This is support. This is resistance. This
Hmm.
support broken, it turns into resistance. Or
Yeah.
as a resistance broken, it turns it's the same exact thing. Okay, it's the same exact thing. But I'll tell you when to use this or when to use this.
Okay.
Okay, so
Yeah.
even that depends. Okay, even that depends. So yeah, so we have something like this. And also now, why are we using the line chart? Okay, so why are we using the line chart? Remember, we use
Hmm.
the line chart because the line chart only prints the closing prices of candles. Okay,
Yes.
the closing price of candles. So what we're dealing with will be the closing prices of candles. Okay, so
Hmm.
remember, the daily, weekly, and the monthly time frame has the most strongest levels. Okay, so which means like actually like some Malaysian support analysts say that key levels only comes from the monthly, weekly, and the daily time frames. But yeah, it's true, but you
Mhm.
will not get that precision with it. Okay,
Okay.
you will not
Yeah.
have the precision with it. So that is why we use the lower time frames too. But mainly these right here, okay, the closing prices of the monthly or
Mhm.
as weekly or as even the daily can
Mm.
be used again and again and again as POIs. But remember, only if there are confluences. Okay, so I'll tell you
Yeah.
what are the confluences that we use. Okay, I'll
Okay.
tell you all of
Perfect.
that. Okay,
Yes.
so yeah. So first thing now, let me just show you some examples. Okay, let me just show you some examples. Let me delete this. It's
Mhm.
messy. Yeah. Okay, so first thing, now I told you what's a support. Okay, a support will look like a V, right? The V formation. Okay, so
Yes.
that is what I told you. So let's
Mhm.
see a V that actually played out. Yeah, for example, in here, see this one right here, what is it? It is a V formation, right? So
Yeah.
this right here is what we call a support. Okay,
Yeah.
this can be used as a support. So see, price comes into that and then it goes up. Okay, so
Yeah.
that is a support. And this right here, let's see a proper resistance, a clear one. Yeah, here we go. This right here is a resistance, the A formation. See there?
Yeah.
Right here. Okay, so see, we have this A formation. What happens? Price comes into that, starts to drop. Okay, so
Yeah.
that will be a resistance. And I told you, a resistance broken, it turns into support, right? So if I put the
Mhm.
replay tool somewhere around here, yeah, if I put the replay tool in here, what is this? This is a resistance, right?
Yeah.
This right here will be a resistance. So
Yeah.
now it is broken. It
Yeah.
is broken. So now we can expect it to act as a support. So I'll tell you now, one thing, we have one confluence right here. What is that? We have the previous day's lowest liquidity. Now they do not talk about liquid, but I'll show
Yeah.
you. We have the previous day's lowest liquidity
Yeah.
right above this. So
Yeah.
one confluence, then what happens? Taps and then it starts to fly.
Yeah.
Takes out the previous day's low, taps into the resistance that turned into a support now. It
Yeah.
acted as a support, tapped, and then it started flying. Okay,
Yeah.
so that is RBS. And let's see where we have SPR2. I did not see one very recently. Let's check. Ah, yeah, here we go. Something in here. Oh, yeah, it's the same example. See, but that's okay. I'll show you. See, this right here was first a resistance, but now it is broken, right? It is broken,
Yeah.
then it will act as what? A support. And
Support.
also we
Yes.
have some liquidity above it, which means these previous days lows and all that stuff. So what happens? There it goes. Taps, starts to fly.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, it taps and then it starts to fly. Okay, so that will be RBS. Let's see where we do. We have the SPR, a support broken turns into resistance. Yeah, something. Yeah, here we
Maybe
go.
on lower time frame.
Yeah, in here. See this? What is this? The V formation, right? But now it is broken.
Yeah.
See this right here. This is broken, so it will act as a resistance. Yeah, it comes
Resistance.
almost into
Yeah.
that, and then it starts to drop. Okay, so let's see some more. Like, see, for example, maybe, yeah, here we go. In here, what is this? A support, right? Now it is broken, then it turns into a resistance. So what happens?
Yeah.
Taps, starts to drop. Okay,
Yeah.
then it starts to drop. So these are the examples of the key levels that we use. Okay, so
Mhm.
these are the most common ones. Okay, now there's another thing. Okay, we call it the open close levels. Okay, we call it the open close level. So
Yeah.
it has nothing to do with these V formations or A formations. So it will
Mhm.
be something like this. Okay, so why do we call it the open close levels? Because what did I tell you? I told you we focus on the closing prices only, right?
Yeah.
So this right here, what is this? This is also a closing price, right?
Yeah.
This right here is also a closing price. So these levels can be used as POIs too. Okay.
Yeah.
These levels can be used as POIs too. See, like
Okay.
even these areas right here,
Mhm.
even these could be used as POIs. See, open close levels. Why? We had the closing price over here. Okay, we
Yeah.
had a closing price over here. So this right here could also be called as a open close level. So what happens? Price just yeah, comes back into that, starts to fly. Okay,
Yeah.
so these
Yeah.
areas can be used as POIs too. So remember, like most of the time, you will get them. Okay, you'll see price reacting to them. So
Mhm.
don't always look for S and V. So these are BSO, SBR. Okay, those areas are important too. Okay, those
Yeah.
areas are important too. Like for example, where did this one tap into? Okay, where did this one tap into? Right into this.
Yeah.
Yeah, open close levels. Okay, open close levels. We had the closing price of the daily in here. So price tapped right into it, started
And
dropping.
dropped.
Okay,
Yes.
started dropping now. Now
Yeah.
you might think, okay, now so we had some areas in here. Okay, we had areas maybe up here. But why did it tap here? I'll show you. Okay, I'll show you because there
Yeah.
are other confluences that we use. Okay,
Yeah,
so not just
exactly.
blindly entering from here.
The main
Okay,
question is when to use it.
exactly. Okay, so
Yeah.
I'll show you. I'll show you because there are other confluences that we use. So not
Mhm.
just gonna blindly use this. Okay, not just gonna blindly use this. Okay. So
Okay.
yeah, that's about that. Open close. You get that thing right about the open close thing. Okay,
Yes,
so
yes,
that
yes.
will also be important. Okay, that will also be important. Okay. The next thing is, okay, let's go through this quickly and then I'll show you some examples, okay, because the theory, like the theory isn't enough in this market, you know that, right? So
Yeah,
if you
yeah,
just
yeah.
understand the logic and then after I show you some examples, only then you will understand it properly.
Exactly.
Okay, so
Yeah.
yeah, I'll show you some examples regarding that. And yeah, before that, see, like even in here, now the open close levels also act as support and resistance levels. Okay, so now if I put the replay tool in here, like this, now, this is an open close level, right? This is an open close level. See this? This is the closing price of this daily candle. Now,
Yeah.
first, what is it acting as? It is acting as a resistance, right? Because
Yes.
if price comes here, we're expecting it to drop.
Yeah.
But what happens? Now it is broken. So once the resistance is broken, same exact logic. What will it turn into? It will turn into a support,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, it will turn into a support. So if you know smart money, you can do a little bit of refinement into this imbalance. Okay, so you can even do something like this. Okay, you can even do that. But yeah, let's just stick to SNR. So what happens? Comes into that, starts to fly.
Yeah.
Okay, starts to fly. So these
Yeah.
areas can be like, it's the same exact logic. Okay, it's the same exact logic. If a resistance broken, it will turn into a support.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it will
Okay.
turn into a support. Okay, so those are about the key levels. That would be about the key levels. The next thing is, let's talk about trend lines. Okay, because now most people use trend lines like just blindly to enter and all that stuff. But I personally, I use trend lines to get a confirmation, a confluence actually, not a confirmation. Like for example, let's say we had a daily key level or something in here, like this. But now, how can I tell you that this will hold, right? No idea. Okay, so if a trend line is in line with this area, like this, let's say, if there's a trend line in line with this area, now we have almost two resistances, right? What is that? We have the key level of the daily, a resistance, and as well as a trend line. So a trend line can be used as confluence. So you can expect price to do this.
Yeah.
Okay, you can expect price to tap into the trend line and into this and then drop. Okay, so now let's talk about the trend line. So for me, like I have 6 different trend lines that I use. Okay, 6 different types of trend lines. So same thing I'll show you. Now it's like this. Now one thing, remember for every single thing I show you, we will only be using the line chart. Okay, candlestick charts are only used to identify, just see if price has already tapped into those levels. Okay, just to see if price has already tapped into those levels. Okay, so yeah. Now let's say this will be the first type of trend line, very easy, like this. Okay, first touch, second touch, and the third touch will be our entry point. Okay, the third touch will be our entry point. We call this an outer trend line. Okay, we call this an outer trend line, something like this. Okay, so first touch, second touch, and the third touch will be our entry. Okay, so this will be the first one. And same thing, this right here will be the second one. Okay, the same thing the other way.
The opposite, yeah.
Yeah, opposite. Okay, so this will be the second one, like this. First touch, second touch, and the third touch will be our entry. Okay, this will be our entry. The second, actually the second type of trend lines will be something like this. Broken. Then it turns into a resistance. Okay, we call this a break and retest trend line, something like this. First touch, second touch. Now it is broken, then it acts as a resistance. Otherwise, it comes back into this level. This will be the most high probability trend line that, like, yeah, the best one for me actually. Okay, this one right here, this works very good. Okay, so first touch, second touch, it breaks, gives you a retest, and then it drops. Okay, so let's talk about multi-time frame stuff later. Let's go through the very basics right now. Okay, let's go through the very basics right now. The multi-time frame stuff, let's talk about it later. So yeah, this will be the second type. You get it, right? So something like this. And same thing. Okay, so let's say we have something like this. Second touch, now it is broken. What happens? Then it turns into a support. Goes up. Okay, so something like this. Okay, this will be the next one. You get it, right? Same thing. Same thing. First touch, second touch. Once it breaks, we can expect price to tap into that and then go back up. Okay, now the next one will be a reversal trend line. Okay, not something that I love, but yeah, you can use it. Okay, you can use it because when a reversal trend line appears, okay, with other confluences, yeah, you can assume that the market is going to change its trend. Okay, so
Mm.
the reversal trend line. So it will be something like this. Okay, so like this. First touch, second touch, third touch, sell. Okay, we call it a reversal trend line. Some people call it the divergent trend line. Okay, but yeah,
Mhm.
let's go through that. Okay, I'll show you examples. And the same thing in here, like this. Okay, so first touch, second touch, third touch, and then we expect it to fly. This
Yeah.
is what we are expecting, but it's not that simple as it seems. Okay, because okay, so, because there are some stuff that you should add into trend line.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Okay.
remember the best type of trend lines, the best type of outer trend lines. Okay, so not for these, but for these, the
Mhm.
best ones will be 45 to 60 degrees. Okay, the best type of trend lines will be 45 to 60 degrees. So maybe you can take this, yeah, we have this trend line angle thing, right? And then measure it.
Mm.
Okay, so the best type of trend lines will be 45 to 60 degrees. I'll show
Yeah.
you examples, don't worry. Okay,
Okay.
45 to 60 degrees. So same thing
Yeah.
in here. For this, I don't mean like you can't use any other trend lines. You can, but
But
these
the
are the
best.
best ones.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
the best ones
Mm.
always come from 45 to 60 degrees. Okay,
Yeah.
so those will be the best type of trend lines. And another thing, okay, not just two rand, you're not just gonna randomly like mark out two random points. No, okay.
Mhm.
Remember, for these trend lines, okay, for these trend lines, for outer trend lines mainly, the first point and the second point
Mhm.
has to have engulfing candles. Okay, you know what engulfing means, right? So which means now, since this is a bullish move, the bearish candle has to be engulfed by a bullish candle.
Yeah.
Okay, the bearish candle has to be engulfed by a bullish candle.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's another thing.
Mm.
And for the second touch, okay, so that's one thing, like I'll tell you. And the same thing in here. This one
Mhm.
and this one has to be an engulfing point. Okay,
Yeah.
this we don't care if this engulfing or not, because this will be our entry point, right? This
Mhm.
happens like we don't know if this is gonna get engulfed or not. Okay,
Yeah.
because we don't know actually
Yeah.
this happening real time. Okay, so that's that. And remember, for the second point that you are using, okay, the second point has to break structure as well.
Okay.
Okay, has to break structure as well, because now what can we see? We can see that the market is anyway bullish, right? It has broken
Yeah.
structure as well in here. Now it is giving us a pullback. So this right here will be our entry point. Okay, so
Yeah.
remember the second point must break structure.
Yeah.
Okay, it's better if it has broken structure. Okay, so that will turn into a very high probability trend line. It's the same thing in here. This second point has to break structure in here. Okay, it has to break structure in here. So if this breaks, then
Mhm.
we can expect price to come here and
Yeah.
then fall back down. Okay, you get it, right? So that will be
Yeah.
one
So
important thing. Okay, yeah.
yeah. So the first and second touch, they always have to be
Engulfing
engulfed.
candles.
Okay. That's
Yes.
okay.
Okay, there must be engulfing candles.
Yeah.
And yeah, the second point has to break structure. Okay, that is when we call it a very high probability point of interest. Okay, then it
Interest.
turns
Yes.
into a very high probability, not a point of interest, actually a good trend line. Okay, it'll
Yeah.
turn into a good trend line. So
Yeah.
same thing in here. Okay, so same thing in here. For this, it's better if these points are engulfing, but it is not a must. Okay,
Okay.
it is
Okay.
not a must, because with a like, what is a trend line actually? Actually, a trend line is used to identify the direction. Okay,
Mhm.
a
Mhm.
trend line is used to identify the trend, like the name says it, right? So
Yeah.
if the trend line breaks like this, then the trend is broken. So we can expect price to get back into that same area and then give us a drop.
Yeah.
Okay, and then
Yeah.
give us a drop. So same thing in here, like first point and second point, if it is engulfing, it is better. If it breaks, we're
Mhm.
expecting a retest and then for price to move up.
Yeah.
Okay, remember, we're not using trend lines alone. Okay, we're not using trend lines alone.
Yeah, it's a
We will be
combination
using
of a bunch of things, right?
exactly. Okay, a combination of structure, support and resistance and all of that. Okay,
Yeah.
not alone. Okay, not alone.
Okay.
And
Okay.
yeah, now this right here, this is a very important type of a trend line, the reversal trend line.
Yeah.
Okay, because
Yeah.
now if you just go to the charts, you can see
Mhm.
these reversal trend lines playing out from everywhere. Right now, not everywhere actually. You can see reversal trend lines everywhere. Now you might just draw it like this, right?
Yeah.
See, because
Yeah.
see, you have 2 points. You can connect it like this. Okay, or else maybe you're connecting a point like this, calling it a reversal trend line, expecting price to move from here, but doesn't even give you a reaction. Why?
No.
Okay, because remember, for this, okay, mainly the second point right here. Okay, the second point right here, it has to be above a higher time frame key level. So for example, let's say we have something like a maybe a weekly zone in here.
Mm.
Let's say let me delete this. You get this right about the trend lines.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Delete.
clear. Yes.
Let me delete this. Now let's say we have something like maybe, yeah, actually a resistance. Say we had a weekly resistance in here, like this. So this right here will be the key level, right? The resistance.
Mhm.
Okay. So if the 4-hour, no, mainly the 4-hour, but let's get into the time frame stuff later.
Yeah.
But mainly, let's say the market, now we have a weekly zone in here, a weekly zone of interest in here, or as a key level in here,
Mhm.
but price is going up, never breaking structure, right? Never
Mm.
breaking structure, but like according to smart money, like we know the confirmations, right? If price does this, we know that we have breakout structure, we get this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But sometimes, even after the, like before the breakout structure, like these support and resistance traders take the trade. How
Mhm.
are they taking the trade? Okay, so remember, the second point must be above a higher time frame key level.
Yeah.
Like this. The
Okay.
first point could be from anywhere, but
Yeah.
the second point, it must be above a higher time frame key level. So then you know that, because the thing is now, like I showed you, you can
Mhm.
just pull out this trend line out of everywhere, right?
Yeah.
But how do you know which one is the right one?
Mm.
So that is how we know the second point, you know that is the right one. Okay, you know the second point is the right one if the second point is above a higher time frame key level. Okay, if it is above a higher time frame key level, then we just draw the first point from somewhere. Maybe an engulfing would be better. The second point, you know where it is already, and
Mm.
then you see if this trend line is gonna go into some other key level that is
Yeah.
lining up with that level, like
Yeah.
this. So then you can expect this to happen. Then you can
Yeah.
expect this to happen, because the thing about smart money is like we only take the trade after this break happens,
Mm.
right? Only
Yeah.
after this break.
Yeah.
But once you see this reversal trend line appearing, you can take the trade from here itself.
Yeah.
Okay, so this right here, remember the second point must be above a higher time frame key level. Can you
Yeah.
understand that? Hope it's clear.
And
Okay.
yeah, I understand. And one condition more is also that the first point, it has to be
Yeah.
below the key level, correct?
It could
Otherwise,
be anywhere.
oh,
Okay,
it
it
could
could
be
be
anywhere.
anywhere.
Okay.
Yeah. It's even better if it is above the key level like this.
Okay.
Okay. Even that is better, but it's not a must. The second point is what we should focus on a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. The
Okay.
first point, you can draw it from anywhere, because if you know the second point, okay, and if you know the angle of these trend lines, like for example, like sometimes as soon as you see the trend line, like you're just drawing it from a bunch of different zones like this. But once you just check the angles, you will know, okay, if it is 45 to 60 degrees, yeah, it might be a better one. It might be a better one. Okay,
Yeah.
so something like that. Okay, I'll show you. Don't worry. Okay, and yeah, same thing in here. Like for this second point, it has to be below a higher time frame key level like this.
Yeah.
Okay, it has to be below a higher time frame key level like this. So if it is below a higher time frame key level, then you can, then you have the confirmation that that will be the second point of your trend line. Okay, so you draw the first point from somewhere. If it is below this, it's even better, but it's not a must that the first point must be below it.
Yeah.
Okay, but yeah, you can draw it like this, and then the third touch will be your entry. Okay, the third touch will be your entry. Okay, so now that's about the trend lines. That's it about the trend lines. Now, let me show you some examples. Okay, let me show you some examples of these trend lines. So first, let's look at these outer trend lines. Okay, let's look at these outer trend lines. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. Like you must train your eyes for this. Okay, I'm not going to tell you
Yeah.
you can go to the charts tomorrow and pull out a trend line. No, it's not that easy. Okay, took a while for me. Took around 2 months for me to like
Wow.
get it into my mind completely, because we are SMC traders, right? Okay,
Yeah.
not a lot of SMC traders get into SNR. Okay, but
No.
you will see that SNR and SMC is a very good combination. Okay, so I'll show you. Now look at this. First point, is it engulfing? Yes, this candle is engulfed by the second candle.
Yeah.
See that?
Mhm.
Yeah. This one, also what? An engulfing
Engulf.
candle, right?
Yes.
Yeah, engulfing. So which means, pull out the line chart, you can draw a trend line. Like this. So your third point will be the entry. Taps.
Yeah.
Oh, melting. Okay. And that line, okay, that area is in line with what? See, now I'll show you another thing. This is in line with a support broken turns into resistance, right? SPR. There we go. What happens? Taps, boom, melting. Can you see that? Okay, melting. And also, if you go into lower time frames, I think we had reversal trend lines in here. Yeah, see? Something like this. Engulfing, and this point right here is above. I'll show you. Okay, I'm not going to confuse you. Okay, so see, this right here, we have a daily key level in here, a daily resistance in here. Can you see this?
Yeah.
Right here. We have a daily resistance in here. Let me just put a line in here like this. And now if you go to lower time frames, you can see that this point right here is what? This is
The
above
second,
the key level.
yeah.
Can you see it? It is above the key level. So this will be your second point. Okay,
Yeah.
this will be your second point. So now what do you have? You have a resistance. Okay, you
Mhm.
have a reversal trend line. You
Mhm.
have a daily trend line. And according to SMC, you have some liquidity below your point of interest. So
Yeah.
that it happens. Okay, taps,
And
starts to melt.
yeah.
Okay, then it starts to melt. So there we go. That was a good example. So let's see some more. So see in here, what do we have here? This point is what? Engulfing.
Yeah.
This point, now this we're not going to use. Why? Is this an engulfing candle? No.
No,
No.
no.
So skip that. But this, yeah, it is engulfing. Can you see that? This is engulfed by this candle over here. So which means this could be the first point. This right here could be what? The
Second
second
point.
point.
Yeah.
Then your third point will be your entry. What happens? Taps, melting.
Yeah.
Can you see it? Okay, steps, and then it starts to melt. Okay, so
Yeah.
this right here, I'll show you another one. Yeah, I can pull out trend lines from everywhere now because like
Now you're the master of trend lines.
not master, like I'm actually still learning, but yeah, I'm still learning. But yeah, like I can spot them very easily now. Okay, so where do you think this entry came from? No idea, right?
No,
No idea.
idea.
Okay, but look at this. First point, second point, break, then retest. Okay, it almost came into that. Okay, if you use some other broker, you can see it very clearly.
Mhm.
Break, retest, taps, starts to drop.
Oh.
Okay, then it starts to drop. So that I'll show you more examples. Okay, now, yeah, it's good we got into this example because there's another type of thing. Okay, another type of a point of interest that we can use. That will be the QMs. These
Yeah, the
areas.
QM. Mhm.
These areas. You understand that, right? So we call
Yeah.
it the head and shoulders pattern.
Yeah.
The head and shoulders pattern.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can't even expect a move like this. Okay, so same thing. These areas could be used as our zones of interest. You get that, right? Very simple. Very
Yeah,
simple.
yeah.
Because a lot of smart money traders use it already. Okay, that's why I pointed it out. Okay, so that's that. Now look at this. Where is this cell coming from? We have a trend line. We have a trend line. What's that? Look at this. Engulfing. Isn't it engulfing? Yeah.
Yes.
There it goes. Okay, engulfing. What is this?
Also
Engulfing.
engulfing. Yeah.
Yeah. First point, second point,
point.
third point will be your entry. What happens? Taps. There is falling now.
Yeah.
Can you see it? Now it is
Yeah.
starting to fall. Okay, now it is starting to fall. So there we go. That will be an outer trend line. I'll show you more. I'll show you more. Let's see. Where else do we have these clear ones?
When I see it, it seems very simple, but
It seems very simple. It
yeah.
seems very simple, but when you try to use it real time, like I'm not gonna sell dreams here. Okay, I'll tell you. That's the bitter truth. Okay, when you try to come to the charts, you will see so many trend lines and you'll be confused. Okay, so that is why you should do the back testing. Okay, you must do the back testing. That's why you should really do the back testing. Only that way you will understand. Okay, so yeah, that's about that. So I'll show you. I'll show you more. Let's go to the 4-hour time frame, maybe. Check for some trend lines. Go to the H1. Not gonna go below the H1. Okay, we're not gonna go there. Okay. Yeah, look at this one. Here we have a nice one. What is this? Isn't that an engulfing point? Yeah,
Yes.
engulfing. What is this?
Also an engulfing.
Engulfing. Yeah. So we're going to use a trend line, right? First touch, second touch, third touch can be our entry. Taps, see, even in here. Taps, and then it starts to drop. Okay, and then it starts to drop. See, I'll show you another one. Okay, I'll show you another one. Let's see. I think here. Yeah. See, what is this? Engulfing, right?
Yeah.
Engulfing. What is this? Engulfing. So what happens? First touch, second touch, third touch will be what? The entry, right? So what happens? There it goes. Taps, melting. Okay. Now I'm only showing you examples of trend lines. Okay, once we go into storylines, multi-time frame stuff, then you will see how to use them in line with it. Okay. So yeah, that's about that. And let's see some more. Let's see some more. Okay. Like I even used the trend line in here, but this point wasn't engulfing. But yeah, you can see how it worked out pretty well. First touch, second touch, there it goes. See, taps started melting. Okay, so that was that. I'll show you some more. Where else do we have some clear trend lines? Yeah, let's see some more. Let's see. Let's look for a good bullish one. Yeah, look at this one. This was news actually. Okay, this right here was news. Okay, what is this? Engulfing, right? What is this? Engulfing. Then first touch, second touch, third touch can be used as an entry point, right? Third
Yeah.
touch can be used as an entry point. So what happens? There it goes. Taps, boom,
Yes. Yeah.
started going up. Okay, and I told you, second point, okay, if it breaks structure, that would be better, right? So there we go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have break of structure as well. So second point, first point engulfing. So okay, but this is what happens. Okay, so the taps starts to fly up. Okay, starts to fly. So this right here is in line with what? This is in line with this level. A broken resistance turns into support. Can you see that? A broken resistance turns into support. So what happens? Taps starts to fly up. Okay, or else we even have this open close levels.
Multiple confluence.
Yeah,
Yeah.
confluences. We have all of them. Okay, so open close levels. We have a breakout structure in here. If you know smart money, this is a strong low as well. So taps starts to fly. Okay, so we have a bunch of confluences there. Okay, so yeah, we had a nice buy trend line in here, a bullish one. What is this? This is engulfing, right?
Engulfing,
This
yes.
is engulfing.
Yes.
This is also engulfing, right? This is also engulfing. So what happens? First touch, second touch, third touch will be what? Our entry. What happened? Taps, flies. See that? Starts to fly. Okay, so there we go. That was another one. Okay, that was another one. So those are about the outer trend lines. Can you understand that? I hope it's clear. Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah, it's
I'll show
clear.
you. I'll show you
It's
more.
clear.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's clear, right? I'll show you a bunch of examples. That way you'll understand. Yeah, these of course I remember because these are the recent ones. So I did have these entries. Okay, so see, what is this? Engulfing. Okay, what is this? Engulfing. Okay, so which means first point, second point. Okay, so third point will be what? Your entry. There it comes. Oops, and then it drops. Okay, and also this was only confluence. Remember, trend line is only confluence for us. Okay, because what did we have in here? We had a nice resistance. Can you see it? We had a very nice resistance. Some liquidity sitting below it. So there comes the entry.
Yeah.
Can you see it? Taps, starts to fly. Okay, taps, and then it starts to fly. Okay, so yeah, I'll show you some more. We had many in here actually. Like even for this, we had a point. Yeah. This wasn't actually engulfing, but I think this was the one I used. Yeah, this one, see? First point, second point, taps, and then it starts to drop. Okay, so that's about that. Can you understand it about the outer trend lines? You get it, right?
Yeah,
okay, so
I get it. Yes.
The engulfing and yeah, all that stuff. Okay, so I'll show you another one. We did have another trend line in here. I think it was on the H1. See? Yeah, it was on the H1. Okay, so the first point, can you see an engulfing candle in here?
Yeah, very difficult to see it, but I believe if you say it's an engulfing candle.
Yeah, see this? This right here. Engulfing, right? This candle has engulfed this candle. Okay, the body of that candle has been engulfed, so that could be used as a first point. Okay, that could be used as a first point. Look at this engulfing, right? This is also engulfing. Why? This candle has been engulfed by this big bearish candle. So which means here it comes. Okay, so first touch, second touch, third touch will be our entry.
Yeah, it's very big trend line.
Yeah, a big trend line. So what happens? Taps, starts to drop. Okay, and also that line is in line with the resistance.
Yeah,
it's a line chart. You'll see it very clearly. Okay, so what happens? Taps, starts to drop. Okay, then it starts to drop. So that was that day. And yeah, now let's talk about the break and retest ones. Okay, let's talk about the break and retest ones. So see, one, we have this one right here very clearly. I saw it. First touch, second touch. Can you see it? We have this little spike in here. Second touch, third touch. Once it breaks, what happens? There it comes. Taps, starts to fly. Okay, starts to fly. So that was that. So let's see some more. Yeah, we had a nice example in here, and let's see some more. That was break and retest. So we did have a nice break and retest in here. So this one right here, I showed you this example, right? This one right here, I told you, price tapped right into this zone, but there was no other confluence for this, right? No other confluence. See, no outer trend lines, nothing. See, nothing can be drawn. But I'll show you. We had a good one in here. Look at this. Okay. What is this? An engulfing candle, right? Can you see that? This engulfing. This engulfing as well. Can you see that? It is also covered by the next candle. So first touch, second touch, break. What can you expect? A retest.
Retest,
There it comes. Okay, yeah. There's a weekly time frame. Okay, so
Yeah.
imagine what your pip count will be. Okay, so from here to here, we had a 1,300 pip drop, 1,270 pip drop. Okay, so there it comes. See,
Yeah.
first touch, second touch,
touch.
it breaks, then it retests, and then comes another drop. Okay, then comes another drop. So let's see some more, because this break and retest trend lines are everywhere actually. Okay, so yeah, we even had another one in here for this buy in here. First touch. Okay, so can you see both the points are engulfing? This is engulfing. This is engulfed. Okay, so here we go. First touch, second touch, breaks. What can you expect? Retest. There it comes. Taps, starts to fly. Can you see it? Okay, so same exact thing. Okay, same exact thing. So that was that. Let's see some more. Where do we have this break and retest? Let's see some proper ones. I'm trying to look for recent price action, so that way. Oh, you know, it was there. Let's see. Yeah, even for this, we had this. First touch, second touch. Yeah. See that? And another one I showed you for that same thing. Okay, so these are like the confluences we're going to use. First touch, second touch, outer trend lines, inner trend lines, both. What happens? Taps. And also, this level was in line with some, I think, a weekly level or as a daily level. Let's see. Let's check. Yeah, in line with a daily closing price.
Yeah.
So there it comes. Okay, taps, starts to melt. Can you understand that example? Very clear. Okay. Yeah. A nice daily closing price lining up with two types of trend lines. So what happens? Taps, starts to melt. Okay, starts to melt. That was that day. I'll show you some more. Like I think we did have some examples in here itself. Yeah, I'll show you. I think it was here. Yes, it was here. One thing, can you see that price has broken structure? Remember, for breaks and everything, we use the line chart. Okay, only the line chart. Yeah. So what do we have? Broken. Okay, so which means these areas will turn into a strong resistance, right? Because this resistance has broken a previous support. So this can be used as resistance. Okay, this can be used as resistance. And the next thing, what are the confluences we have? Okay, we need to see if there's a trend line in line with this area. So what do we have? An engulfing point. Okay, what do we have here? Another engulfing point. So what happens? First touch, second touch. Expect the third touch to come here. Okay, and then again, if I go to the H1, we have another one. Okay, we have another one. This was the break of structure, the break of the support. Okay, but this right here, of course, this right here was not an engulfing point, but let me show you. First touch, second touch, there it comes. So this will be what? Your entry point. Okay, this will be your entry point. So what happens? Look at this. Taps, melts. Can you see that? Okay, so very nice. Okay, very nice. So that is how we could have used the break and retest trend line in there. So I'll show you another one. We had another one, a good one on the weekly. It was some time ago though. Let me see. I think it was somewhere around here. I don't remember. Yeah, here. Okay. So what is this? An engulfing point. This is also an engulfing point, but it was broken. First touch, second touch, breaks. Now it is broken. Then what can you expect it to be? A support, right? Yeah, or something like that. So now if you go to lower time frames, you can see what happened. Look at that. Where did it react from? No idea, eh? No idea. Not even here. Not even to this RBS. Where did it react from? Right from a trend line. Okay, from a trend line. So there comes, because see now, why is the push this big? Why is it so good? See, look at this. From here to here, we had a 300 pip move already. Why? Because it is a weekly trend line, right? It's a weekly trend line. Okay, so if it is coming from the higher time frames, it will once again go back into the higher time frames. Okay, so that's that. Okay, that's that. So let's see some more. And yeah, we had a recent one in here. Did not come into it. I was lucky because my spreads were like, I always factor in my spreads. Okay, so there we go. We had the second point in here. We had something like the first point in here. This wasn't actually engulfing, but I'll show you. See, first point. Why am I using the second point? Breakout structure.
Yeah.
Can you see a breakout structure? So first point, second point, what are we expecting? It's magnet 2. Okay. So what are we expecting? Price to come back into this level and then go up, see? Taps. Oh. Like it was a very good reaction actually. If I put the line here and go to a lower time frame. Yeah, look at that. Taps. And you got a nice, what's that? Yeah, a 300 pip move.
Yeah.
Almost a 300 pip move. Okay, so where did it come from? Right from a trend line. Okay, it came right from a trend line. Okay, so that is about the outer trend lines and the break and retesting. You get it, right? Okay, so
Yeah,
let's see.
yeah.
You actually talking about that. Okay, so let's see.
Yeah.
Let's see if we
It's
have
clear.
some more. Yeah. Where else do we have this break and retesting? Oh, like even right now we have done. Oh, price did not actually tap right into it, but I'll show you. First point, engulfing. Second point, engulfing. What happens?
Break.
Yeah, almost into it. See that?
Yeah.
Okay, so where did it tap into? It tapped right into the support. The support broken, it turns into what? Resistance, right? So we had two zones of interest like this. So what happened? Tapped, started dropping. Okay, so it was in line with the trend line, so that is why we took the trade. Okay, so that was that. So can you understand this about the break and retesting? You get it, right?
Yes,
about the break and retest. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so
Yes.
the next thing will be the reversal trend lines. Okay, now the
Mhm.
reversal trend line will be a bit tricky. Okay, I'm not going to tell you to use it all the time because I know like it's not that easy. I'll tell you that. It is
Okay.
not that easy. Okay,
Yeah.
so I'll show you. I'll show you some examples that way you'll understand. Now,
Mhm.
what did we have in here? A weekly support, right?
Yeah.
We had a weekly support in here. Now, if we go to the lower time frames, below that line, what do we have?
Multiple points.
Yeah, 2 points.
Engulf.
Yeah, this is not engulfing. I told now for the reversal trend line, of
Yeah.
course, yeah. The engulfing is not that necessary. Okay,
Yeah.
so what do we have in here? 2 points right below the trend line.
Yeah.
What is it forming? Right below the key level. So
Yeah.
first touch,
First touch,
second touch.
third
What can you expect the touch to do? Fly.
Yeah.
Where did the reversal come from? This is why we call it a reversal trend line. The reversal trend lines, if you spot it properly, it is very accurate. Okay, so trust me, it is very accurate. Okay, so what happened? Tapped, boom, started flying. Okay, started flying. So, and also this reversal trend line right here was in line with this liquidity. Okay, so not liquidity, if you want to call it that, that's okay. Okay, we had this, and then below that on the 4 hour we had a support. What happened? Right into it. See that? Right into it, started flying. Okay, and then it started flying. So that was another one. I'll show you another one. Like even right now, we had a reversal trend line. Okay, so where did it come from? If I go to the weekly, what is this? Open close levels, right? Or as order blocks, whatever. You had this open close levels.
Yeah. Or the hidden
now, if
base.
you go to hidden base, whatever. Okay, we can call it whatever. And we have some points above it in here. Okay, we have some points above it in here. And then now from here, of course, we're not going to take a trade anyway, because why? Now remember, trend lines are not the only things that we use, right? We have to understand structure as well. Now, for you to trust this high, has it broken any sort of structure? No. Right? So which means obviously your trade will come from above this high, right? This high will be taken out. We know that. But if I just draw a trend line from here like this, that trend line is inside of that high, right? See that? That trend line is inside of that high. So obviously this will not be the trend line we're going to use. Okay, so let's drop one time frame lower. On the H1, here is that higher time frame level, and we have 2 points, and that those are engulfing. First point, second point. Can you see it? So which means a reversal trend line seems to be appearing on the 1 hour time frame. So first point, second point, we can expect the third point to come right into that. Taps, boom, melting. Can you see that? Okay, and also like for me, I'll show you quickly. The confluence for me, this is strong high as well. Okay, so we're not expecting this high to get taken off. What's a strong high? A high that takes out liquidity and breaks structure. Okay, so
you
strong
combine
high,
those.
yeah, that's a combination. Okay, so that's a combination. I'm not going to tell you it's easy, but yeah, there we go. Okay, so first point, second point, taps, and there it comes down. Okay, there it comes down. And also, like for here we had 2 trend lines, because even on the daily, we had this daily trend line like this. like this. See what happened? Into two trend lines. So this right here will be the trend line cell area, cell zone.
Yeah.
Using a trend line.
Yeah.
Okay, so something like that. So you see the drop, right? You see the drop.
Yeah.
Taps
Yeah.
starts to drop. Okay, right
Yeah.
away. Like see, even right here, where is price currently reacting from? Where is price currently reacting from? What is this?
Support.
Almost engulfing. What is this? Once again, engulfing. So first point, second point. What happened? Taps into a support broken, turns into resistance. There comes the drop. See that? So right away you have a drop of around, what's that? 45 pips already. Isn't that enough? More than enough, right? Okay,
Yeah.
so we have 45 pips already. Okay, so that was that. So I'll show you more reversal trend lines because it's important. What else do we have these reversal trend lines? Let's see, I'm not a huge fan of the reversal trend line thing because it's a bit complicating. The reason I'm showing you this is because you wanted to learn this, right? So my
Yeah,
method
yeah,
taught me
exactly.
this, so
Yeah.
I'm showing this. Okay,
Okay.
so let's see. Let's see where we had. Yeah, on monthly we did have a nice reversal trend line in here, but it was not that good because there were no higher time frame POIs or anything. See, first point, second point, and a move like this. Okay, so
Yeah.
that's of course it's not an easy one to spot the reversal trend line thing. Okay, but yeah, if you understand it properly, you will know where the reversals are coming from. Let's see some more. Yeah, in these areas we did have some. Let me see, not here. Here. Let's check the 1 hour time frame in here. Yeah, I think these were the three terms. Yeah, we had a higher time frame level in here. See that? We had these higher time frame levels in here. And then below that, we had some. Yeah, we had several points. See that? We had several points below this. Let's go to the 4 hour. Let's see what could be the second point. Yeah, I think something around here. This is what I used. I don't remember. Yeah, something like this. First point, second point, and then something like this, I guess. Yeah. Taps starts to fly. Okay, so that was that. Not a very good entry because anyway, we're not going to take the trade from here. We're only seeing if the reversal trend line is appearing for us to know if the reversal is really going to happen or not. Okay, that is the only reason why we use it. So yeah, we did have some liquidity in here and all that stuff. So then you will understand it. Okay, so that is how we can use the reversal trend line. But I'll tell you, like in my opinion, in my backtesting and in in my understanding, the reversal trend lines are not that easy. Okay, reversal trend lines are not that easy. If it is confusing you, completely skip it. Okay, so just completely skip it. Okay, there is no problem with that. Okay, just completely let that go because actually you don't even want the trend lines. Okay, you don't even want the trend lines. They are only extra confluences. Okay, they are only extra confluences. Okay, so if you want, you can use it or just let it go. Okay, so that's about the trend lines. So can you understand about these trend lines? Yeah.
Yes, it's clear.
Yeah, you get it, right? Okay, so that's about the trend lines. The next thing is the storyline. Okay, the storyline thing. Now, the storyline thing is actually very important. Okay, a storyline is very important because a storyline is what we use to identify the direction. Okay, the storyline is what we use to identify the direction because, like, simply, it's like this. Okay, what starts on a monthly ends on a monthly. Okay, what starts on a weekly ends on a weekly. What starts on a daily ends on a daily. So you must trust that though. Okay, because that's the thing. Now, because let's say now, yeah, let me just draw it out to you properly. Let's say we had, yeah, let me draw it out and then explain. Yeah, let's say we had something like this. Resistance and a support on the daily. Let's say this was actually the weekly. Yeah, let's say this was the weekly. Now, let's say the market is coming back into a weekly zone and did this. So if it starts on a weekly, okay, remember very well, it will only end at a weekly. Okay, it will only end at a weekly. So until it gets into the next weekly zone, because obviously the next week, like it will not be this clear, right? This is only an example. Okay, but the thing is, until it comes into the next weekly zone, every time it comes up, are you going to look for buys? No, you're only going to look for sells. Sells. We sell. we sell it, we sell it, we sell it. And only once price gets here, we monitor price action to see if the market is breaking up once again. Okay, so
Yeah.
if it breaks once again, the next weekly support that was created, maybe let's say somewhere around here, until it goes there, you buy it.
Yeah.
Okay, the market just moves from support to resistance. Okay, so
Yeah.
support to resistance. That's the
But
only thing it does. Okay,
the
yeah.
break, does it has to happen
No, no, no,
also
I'll show
on the
that.
weekly or okay?
Okay, no, I'll show you. Okay, I'll
Okay.
show that stuff. I'll tell you how a storyline starts and how it ends. Okay, so
Okay.
time frames, we'll have to go through for the time frames for that. Okay, so
Yeah.
same thing. Okay, if it starts on a weekly, it
Mhm.
will end on a weekly. Okay,
Yeah.
if it
Yeah.
starts on a monthly, it will end on a monthly. If it starts
Yes.
on a daily, it will end on a daily. Okay,
Yes.
but
Yeah.
remember, now there are obstacles, right? So what are obstacles actually? Like we call it hurdles and all that stuff. Okay, so which
Yeah.
means within a weekly to weekly storyline. Okay, let's
Mhm.
say now the storyline is from here to here. But the thing is, are you going to get a direct drop from here to here? No. Okay,
Sometimes you wish,
because
but it also never
yeah,
happens.
sometimes it will. Sometimes it will, but not all the time. Okay, because
Yeah.
why? In a weekly to weekly storyline, there will be obstacles. Okay, so
Yeah.
remember the obstacles always comes from one time frame lower.
No,
Okay, it
okay.
comes from one time frame lower. So if it is a weekly to weekly storyline, for
Mhm.
pullbacks, you must observe the daily.
The daily. Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
you must observe the daily levels. Okay,
Yeah.
not every single daily level is going to give a pullback. If it is this easy, then everyone will be trading, right? No, it
Yeah.
is not that easy. Okay, it is not that easy. There are ways how you can confirm that. Okay, so remember,
Okay.
within a weekly to weekly storyline, there will be
Mhm.
daily obstacles.
Yeah.
Within a monthly to monthly storyline, there will be weekly obstacles.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
within a
basically
daily to
one,
daily,
basically
there will
one
be
one time frame
one time frame
lower.
low.
Yeah. Okay.
Exactly. Okay, just one time frame low. That is where the obstacles will be. Okay, so simply that is about the storyline. But now I'll tell you how to determine the storyline. Okay,
Yeah,
so now how do
I
we
have one
know?
question
Yeah, yeah.
regarding the
Okay,
storyline. Is it correct that
okay.
you only use the monthly, weekly, and daily storyline, and never
Yes, yes, yes.
H4 or
Never four
H1?
and one now. No, no,
Okay,
no.
okay,
Never use that. Okay, because
okay.
the monthly, weekly, and the daily are the time frames that we use for direction.
For
Okay,
direction. Okay, yeah,
so these are the three time frames that you must use to identify your
yeah,
storyline. Okay,
yeah.
these are the ones that you use to identify the storyline. These are only to just like precise your entries. Okay, make your entries like maybe like let's say there was something like a weekly level in here
Mhm.
that you can refine it to maybe a 4 hours, a 1 hour zone in here
Yeah,
like this.
yeah.
Okay, so
Okay.
just slight refinements, only for refinements and to draw trend lines and stuff, we
Mm.
use the 1 hour and the 4 hour. Okay, so
Okay.
that is what we do. So this is about the storyline. Okay, now I'll show you examples. If it starts on a weekly, ends on a weekly. If it starts on a monthly, ends on a monthly. If it starts on a daily, it ends on a daily. Okay, now the next thing is like, how does the storyline start? Okay, and how does it end? So it's like this. Now remember, one thing for us to know, a weekly bearish storyline has started. How do we know that? Remember, now this has to happen on the same time frame. Okay, this has to happen on the same time
So,
frame.
yeah.
Let's say the market started moving up. Now I'm talking about the weekly time frame, sir.
Mhm,
Let's
mhm.
say the market tapped into the weekly zone and
Mm.
then closed below it. Okay,
Okay.
let's say the
Yeah.
market has tapped into the weekly zone
Yeah.
and then it has closed below the weekly resistance. That is how we know that the price is like respecting the resistance. Okay,
Yeah.
price is respecting the resistance. So if
Yeah.
the weekly, remember, it has to happen on the same time frame. Okay, if it
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
a weekly resistance, you're not going to wait for the daily to close. No.
No.
Okay, you have to wait for the weekly to
Okay.
close itself, the
Yes.
same time frame.
Yeah.
So if the weekly taps into this,
Mhm.
if the weekly taps into a weekly resistance
Yeah.
and closes below that resistance,
Mm.
we know that, okay, there comes the first, not a confirmation, okay, the first confluence that a weekly bearish storyline has started.
Yeah.
Okay, a
Yeah.
weekly bearish storyline has started. And remember, as a result of this closing lower than this, one time frame lower or as two time frames lower has
Mhm.
to give you a break of structure.
Okay.
Okay, if weekly has tapped into a weekly resistance
Yeah.
and if it has closed below the weekly resistance,
Yeah.
there you go, the first confluence. The second confirmation, now this is the confirmation. How do we know the weekly resistance is going to hold? The daily or
Daily
as the 4 hour has to
4 hours.
break structure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
this is how we know that a new storyline has begun. Okay, a new storyline has begun. Weekly has to close below weekly. One
Yeah.
time frame lower or it's on two time frames lower, you have to get a break of
Local
structure.
structure. Yeah.
Okay, so once you get that, there
Yeah.
you get the confirmation that we have a new storyline in play, a new
Yeah.
bearish storyline in play. So
Yeah.
once you identify this, the next thing you have to do is identify the next weekly zone that the market could go into.
Yeah.
Until it gets here, you don't bother about anything else to look for long-term buys. Why? What started on a weekly will only end on a weekly.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
until it gets here, do not bother about this. You might have strong lows here. Okay.
Mhm.
You might
Mhm.
have all that stuff here, but are you bothered? No, because your next weekly zone is here.
Yeah.
Until it gets here now. This is why I told you, you must learn to trust this. You must
Yeah.
learn to trust this.
Yeah.
Okay. Because most people do not trust this. That's the thing. Even me, even like those days, I did not trust it either because I thought because I was an SMC trader. Okay, so I
Yeah.
knew very well
Yeah.
that price could just react from just random zones.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I
Yeah.
do is I just identify the weekly like storyline very clearly, but I
Mhm.
just look for long-term buys from a 4-hour level,
Yeah.
straight
And
through it, straight through.
yeah, because
Okay, so
weekly time frame is stronger.
stronger. Okay, so because
Yeah.
what started on a weekly can never end on a daily or a 4-hour. No, it will
Yeah.
go back. It will. Okay, it will go back to the this thing itself, the next weekly
Yeah.
one itself. So like this. When it comes here, only then you monitor price action. Okay, so once again, for the weekly to start a new, now remember, the end of a storyline, okay,
Mhm.
like the end of a storyline
Mhm.
doesn't mean price just coming here and then stopping here. No. For
No.
you to know that this bearish storyline has ended, once again, the same thing has to happen.
Yeah.
Weekly has to close above weekly. And what should happen? The daily or as the 4-hour has to give you a bullish break.
Break of structure.
Then
Yeah.
we know that, yeah, a bullish weekly storyline has started.
Yeah.
So then until once again it gets back into a weekly zone, what do? Buy it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Buy it. Okay. So that
Yeah.
is what we will be doing. So remember, once you identify the storyline, the next thing
Mhm.
you should do is one time frame lower, identify your obstacles. Okay,
Yeah.
identify your obstacles because
Yeah.
let's say your weekly zone is here, the next
Mhm.
weekly zone is here.
Mm.
You're not bothered about the daily. Okay, I'm sorry, you're not bothered about the 4-hour. You're not
Yeah.
bothered about the 1 hour. You're only bothered about the daily.
Daily.
Okay, so you will be monitoring daily right here
Yeah.
for reaction.
Yeah.
Okay, you will be observing the daily for reaction. So once again, what do I mean by the daily for reactions? Now let's say, now I'm talking about now, I'm gonna like, let's say we have zoomed in on this price section. Now we're looking at the daily time frame.
Mhm.
Let's say now we have a daily support or something in here, like this.
Yeah.
Now, if the daily closes above daily,
Mhm.
and on one time frame or two time frames lower, if it gives you a bullish break of structure, what happens? You're gonna
Then
buy it until the next daily zone. Can you understand that?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
If
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
say now
Yeah.
it's like this. Before the weekly goes into the weekly, daily has to respect the daily storyline, right? The
Yeah.
daily has to respect the daily storyline. So let's say
Yeah.
this move right here has tapped into a daily.
Yeah.
It has closed above the daily, and
Yeah.
it has also broken structure. Then you know that a daily bullish storyline has started.
Yeah.
So now your next target will be the next daily
Daily
resistance.
resistance.
So if price goes here, taps, closes below it, and then on one time frame you get a bearish break. Now what do you know? Time frames are agreeing with each other. Weekly bearish storyline, daily bearish storyline. That will be a range expansion, and then
Expansion and then bomb.
dropping.
Yeah.
There comes a drop.
And
Okay, so
then
this is
up to the next daily again, right? And then the same.
yeah into
Yeah.
the next daily
Yeah.
levels that you are observing for reactions. So which
Yeah.
means you're observing for what? Storylines, okay, or as obstacles. Okay,
Yeah.
that is what you're doing. So remember, like daily to daily, weekly to weekly, monthly to monthly. Okay, not 4 hour to 4 hour, 1 hour to 1 hour. No.
Yeah.
Okay, so remember, those are
Okay.
not necessary. Okay, those are not necessary. Those are only used for entries. Now you might think, okay, if we are always waiting for this, we might miss the tops and the bottoms, right?
Yeah.
Because if we are always waiting for a breakout structure and for price to close, we're never getting here.
Mm.
Okay, but remember it's okay to never get here because we're not here to gamble, right? Okay,
Yeah.
just for the sake of a nice entry, we're not
Mhm.
just gonna directly take a trade here. These
Yeah.
are the risk entries,
Yeah.
high risk entry. But after the break comes the low risk entry. There comes the low risk entry. Why?
Okay.
Because yeah, there comes like we got price closing below it. We have the breakout structure on a lower time frame. So
Yeah.
every time it comes up, what are you looking for? Just sell.
Yeah.
Sells only. Okay, but
Okay.
now there are ways how you can take trades from here. How can you do that? Maybe your trend line is in line with that level.
Yeah. Yeah.
High risk entry, but with some confluence.
Yeah.
Okay, but still it is high risk because nothing is confirmed, right? The market is going up. What if they want to break through this resistance? You'll take a loss. That is why we
Mhm.
call it a high risk entry.
Okay.
Okay, so remember, like the low risk entries are the best to go with. But if you do this, like yeah, you can't get the tops and the bottoms. That's
Yeah.
okay. That's perfectly fine because not about the sniper entries, right? It's about the high probability trades, right? It's about
Yes.
like how much your win rate is. Okay, so
Yeah.
if you do this,
Yeah.
this will increase your win rate a lot. Okay, a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's
Okay.
about the storyline. So weekly to weekly, you will have daily obstacles.
Yeah.
Monthly to monthly, you will have weekly obstacles.
Yeah.
Daily to daily, you will have 4-hour obstacles.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
but
So basically, the risk entries are direct straight away from the
exactly direct
from the
entries from
direct
the
entries from the top, and
yes
low risk entries basically trading from the roadblocks
after the
or
breakout
after the
structure.
break
Yes,
of structures. Yes.
after the candle close and after the breakout structure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, that
Yeah.
is when we
Okay.
know we have a new yeah, I'm sorry, we have the confirmations that price wants to fall from this resistance into a new support.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Okay.
that is how we know it. So that's about the storyline. Can you understand that? Hope it's clear. Okay?
Yeah, 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 I understand.
Yeah.
Just want to see how to draw it on the line chart, but I
Yes,
guess it
I'll
will
show you.
be okay.
I'll show you.
Okay.
Okay, so right now, how do we know that the market is going to shoot up? Okay, look at this.
Mhm.
Never went below the weekly support.
Yeah.
Never closed below it, but
Mhm.
every single week closed above that support.
Yeah.
Which means what are they doing? Respecting.
Yeah.
Respecting those levels.
Mhm.
See now, let me put the replay tool here. Actually, let me show you what has happened. The market has closed above the weekly support.
Yeah. Yeah.
See that? Use a line chart, you'll see it very clearly. It never went below it.
Yeah.
So which means a new weekly to weekly bullish storyline is in play.
Yeah.
Right? A new weekly to weekly. Now, I'm not going to tell you just because it closed above this level, you can
Yeah.
buy it here with your stop loss below this. No,
We
no,
have
no,
to go
that's
to
wrong.
one time
Okay,
frame
yeah.
lower to search for breakout
Yeah, we have to
structure.
go to
Yeah.
maybe one time frame lower to get the breakout structure. But did we
Yeah.
get that? No, not yet. Right?
How
Not
do
yet.
you see
Okay.
it?
See that? No bullish
Ah,
breakout.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Nothing.
yeah.
Yeah, nothing yet. But if we wait, now look at this. Nothing yet. Nothing
So
yet.
it's
Patiently
a
wait.
waiting
Okay, so,
game.
but yeah, now look at what has happened in here though. The daily has closed above a daily resistance. What is this? What is this resistance? This is not a resistance, a support actually. The open close level.
Yeah. Yeah.
Price has closed above a daily level. So which means your next target will be the next daily
Daily level.
resistance somewhere around here.
Yeah.
Okay, so what happened? There it
Yeah.
goes. Closed below this, now you can expect it to drop. Patiently wait. Okay, patiently wait.
Yeah.
Patiently wait. There comes a bullish breakout. If I use the line chart, let me use the line chart, I'll explain it.
Maybe you'll
Can you
answer
see
my question in the
Yeah.
next. But how could you take the daily trade?
I'm sorry?
How could you take the daily trade?
Like from these areas?
No, when you replay back we saw the daily closed above the daily how to say above the daily support.
Okay, now it's like this. Okay, now see, price has done what? Okay, price has done what? Now we had these areas over here. Okay, we had these areas over here. This, of course, it looks like price has already gone through it, right? Price has already gone through it, but if you use this, we still
It's
have the
respected.
support. Okay,
Yeah.
we still have the support. So what happened? Tapped, closed above it.
Yeah.
Can you see that? Closed above it.
Yeah.
Okay. And then now remember, like we're not gonna only use that. Okay, we will be having other conferences. Let's talk about the storylines only, and then let's see how we can get into entries and all that stuff.
Okay, okay, fine.
So yeah. Now what happened? Now we have a breakout structure very clearly. See that? If you use the line chart. Now what do we know? Weekly
is
has
bullish.
closed above weekly,
Yeah.
and the daily has given us a breakout structure. Daily has given us a breakout structure as well. Okay, so which means where are your next targets? Where are your next targets? From here, weekly to weekly resistance.
Yeah.
Right? Weekly to weekly resistance. But now what do we have? A weekly to weekly storyline is in play. So on a weekly to weekly storyline, what are the obstacles you have? You will have obstacles on the daily time frame.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, until it goes here, what are the daily obstacles we have? We have a resistance in here that is fresh. Price has never tapped into it yet.
Yeah.
Can you see that? We have a resistance in here. So we can't expect price to just directly go here, right?
No. Yeah.
Before it goes there, we have to monitor this price action.
Yeah.
Okay, we have to monitor price action in these areas. Can you understand this so far? Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, we have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to monitor price action in these areas. Okay, because what are we monitoring actually? Like, what are we monitoring? If daily taps here,
Mhm.
okay, if the daily taps here, and if it closes below it with a lower time frame breakout structure, what is it? The
Then
start
it's
of a
daily
the start of
storyline.
a new daily storyline, right?
Yeah,
That will be the
yeah.
start of a new daily storyline. So let's see what's gonna happen. Okay, but now the thing is, let's say, give me a second, someone's calling me. Okay, now it's like this. Now until it goes here, are you gonna go into lower time frames and then take sales from somewhere around here? No,
Oh,
risky.
yeah.
Okay, trades from here will be what? 100% risky. Why? Because your next daily target is here. So until it goes here, one thing you can do is what? You can look for buys. Can you understand? You can look for buys until the market gets here.
Yeah.
Okay, because
Yeah.
this is your next daily zone, right?
Mhm.
Like, we're not bothered about this because we are in a weekly to weekly storyline. So
Yeah.
price has now closed above the weekly zones. So price
Mhm.
needs to get here now.
Yeah.
Okay, but
Yeah.
before it gets here, it has to react to
React from
this.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, it has to react from this. Okay, so
Yeah.
now the next day, what are you gonna do? Are you bothered? No,
No.
because why? Never tapped into this yet.
Yeah.
Are you gonna take sells from somewhere around here?
No.
If you like, this is what happens if you go to a lower time frame. There we go. Breakout structure, strong high.
Yeah.
Top hunt break, strong high, sell here.
Yeah.
Are
Yeah.
you gonna do that? No. Okay, we're not gonna do that because why? Price has never gone into that. Never gone into the daily zone yet, right? We're
Yeah.
gonna wait. Okay, so once again, if it comes back down, what are we gonna do? Buying it. Okay, once again, we are gonna buy it. So I'll show you like how I bought it. I'll quickly show you how I bought it. Yeah, I showed it to you already, I think. Trend
Line.
lines.
Yeah.
Okay, trend line and a support. Okay, a trend line, a support, Asian lows liquidity. Okay, so extra confluence, Asian lows liquidity,
Yeah.
timing, and all that stuff. Let's talk
Yeah.
about
Do
timing.
you use timing even with SN Malaysian SNR?
Like for timing, I will be using the 4-hour candle open closing times. Okay, because with every single 4-hour candle open like closing time, momentum kicks in.
Yeah.
Okay, momentum kicks in. So
Yeah.
if price reaches these areas with those at those times of the day, it's very high problem. Okay,
Yeah.
it is very high problem. So yeah,
I mean
that is
with the
what's happening.
session times because with
Yes,
SNR.
even with the session times, yeah, even with
Okay.
the session times. Okay,
Okay. So
so
you
yeah,
stick
there we go.
to Asia and New York and how do you say the London
Yeah,
Open?
no, I don't trade Asia actually. I only trade London Kill Zone, London Open, New
Okay.
York Kill Zone, and New York Open.
Okay.
Okay, and those 4-hour candle closing times can be used as extra confluence. Okay,
Okay.
so yeah,
Okay.
what happened? Now it comes down, taps. There we go. Boom.
Wow. Wow.
Buy. Buying it. That's why I told you. You must learn to trust this. Okay,
Yeah.
we must
Yeah.
learn to trust because price has never gotten here, so which means this high will once again be liquidity, right? Liquidity or whatever. Okay,
Yeah.
I don't know what they call it. So something like this. Okay, something like this. So what happens? Now let's wait. Go to the daily. There it comes. What has happened? Price has tapped into this.
Yeah.
Okay, price has tapped into this, closed below it. Can you see it?
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
has
I
closed
see
below
it.
it.
Yeah.
Okay, first sign. That will be the
Yeah.
first sign. What's the next one? We want to see a
Breakout
breakout
structure.
structure, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. A breakout structure on one time frame lower. Okay, so
Yeah.
let's patiently wait.
One
Or
or
else
two
two time
time
frames.
frames.
Okay,
Yeah.
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 One time frame or else two
Two
time
time
frames. So let's
frames.
wait.
Yeah.
Let's patiently wait. Okay, nothing yet, nothing yet. Because what are we waiting for? At least for this to break.
Yeah.
Can you see how price is still respecting that?
Yeah.
So are we safe to buy it? I'm sorry, sell it? Not yet.
No.
Okay, not yet. Patiently wait, patiently wait. Okay, there it comes. A breakout very clearly.
Yeah.
It is there, a breakout structure. So which means now once again we are on a daily storyline, right? We are in a daily storyline from where? From a daily to the next daily, right?
Daily.
From
Yeah.
daily to the next daily. Okay, so
Yeah.
one daily zone will be here. Price
Mhm.
did not react to this. See
Mhm.
that? One daily
Yeah.
zone will be here. The next daily zones will be where? Somewhere on here.
Yeah.
These areas, right? The next daily zones will be somewhere around here. So now let's wait. Yeah, after this breakout structure, what do you do? From that point onwards, see, now this zone, of course, price never reacted from this zone.
Yeah. But
Can
the
you see?
thing is,
Never closed above it.
yeah, how
See that?
could you know where you set your take profit? Because I can imagine you think, okay, the next daily zone.
Yeah, now if you take a sell here,
Yeah.
your next safest take profit will be here.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
That's it. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
If you
Yeah.
take a sell here, your next safest take profit will be the next daily zone. So from here to here, you
Yeah.
have how much is that? 230 pips.
Yeah.
You have 230 pips. Okay. But this, should we be worried about this zone? No, because why? Never closed above it.
Yeah.
Daily.
Yeah.
So for this cell, if you are holding runners,
Mhm.
what is your next zone? Here.
Yeah.
Right? Never respected this. Okay, never respected this. So let's wait. But remember, weekly is still in a bullish
Bullish.
storyline, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, weekly is
Yeah.
still bullish. Okay, so
This is a counter trend trade, right?
yeah, this is just
Yeah.
the counter trend. Okay, we're trading the obstacles. Okay, we
Yeah.
are trading the obstacles. Now, once again, until okay, until it gets into these daily zones, what are we gonna do? Okay, we can sell it, but now price is reacting from these areas. I honestly have no idea why price reacted from this area. Okay, but I did
Yeah.
have this trend line in here, but like I told you, I
Mhm.
wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
See that? Okay, so price tapped here. Okay, it
Mm.
actually tapped into the daily trend line in here. I draw it properly. Yeah, price tapped into the daily trend line, closed above the daily trend line.
Yeah.
Can you see it? Okay, so which means a daily to daily is in play once again.
Yeah. Or
Right?
maybe we have on H4 or H1
Now, yeah, on
support.
the H4 we did, on the H1 we did have one. Show you. See this? We had a open close level.
Yeah.
See that? We had that in line with the daily level. Okay, and it has tapped into the daily trend line,
Yeah.
closed above it, and we even got a break of structure. Breakout after tapping into the zone. Can you see that? Tapped, breakout.
Yeah.
Okay, so which means once again a daily to daily is in play. Where's your next daily zone? If you take a buy here, where are your next daily zones? Okay, where are your next daily zones? We have zones up here.
Yeah.
Can you see it? We have zones up here, and even in here we had a zone. What is that? The open close levels.
Yeah.
Okay, we had the open close levels and even these areas. So now, if you are buying it here,
Mhm.
where is your next target? These areas.
Yeah.
Where you're worrying about. So see,
Mm.
buying it, having 200 pips. See, all the time you will have more than 100 pips. Okay,
Yeah.
you will
Yeah.
have more than 100 pips. So now, these, of course, even though it closed below these daily levels,
Mhm.
never broke structure.
Yeah.
Never broke structure, right? So you don't have to worry about these levels. You don't have to worry about these levels. So I showed you the sell from here, right? Now for this, of course, now that's why I told you a bit of smart money must be used because see, top hunt, break of structure,
Yeah.
internal range liquidity, resistance,
Yeah.
okay, resistance, and we had some trend line from over here. Now this will be a low risk setup, right? This will be a low risk setup. Why? We have the breakout structure and all those confirmations as
Yeah.
well in here, in these areas. Okay, so what happens? There it comes.
Oh.
Taps, and then this zone will be your next area of interest. Like next take profit zone, actually. If you take a sell here,
Mhm.
this will be your next take profit. Okay, so
Yeah.
that is how we can play with this. Okay, that is how we can play with these
the obstacles.
storylines. Yeah, obstacles and the storylines. Okay, so I know it might not be that clear, but once you watch the recording again and do your own back testing, that way you will just slowly understand it. Okay, you will slowly understand it. And also you saw that a reversal trend line was appearing here, right?
Mhm.
A reversal trend line was appearing here,
Mhm.
and not a coincidence, because why? Like what do we say, this news fundamentals
Yeah.
fundamentals were also showing that the market wanted to go up, right? You would have seen it the past few days. We had the US elections and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so according to that, we know that the USD is gonna drop once again, right? So it's
Yeah.
gonna be weak or something like that. So what happened?
Mhm.
A reversal trend line was appearing like this inside of the daily zone. Okay,
Yeah.
so price came into those and there it flies.
Oh.
Starts to fly.
Yeah.
Okay, starts to fly. So that is how we can play with this. Okay, don't worry, I'll show you how to get the entries. Okay, but right now let's only focus on the storyline thing, because the storyline, the ones that I showed you in here, the only reason I showed the stuff in here was because it was in a consolidation, right? It was in a huge consolidation, because see, for around so many days it was on the same, look at this,
level.
It was in here for 19 days, almost a month. Okay, the reason I want to show it to you in here is that if you understand the storyline properly, like if you understood the storylines properly in these areas, even in this consolidation, you could have taken some nice trades.
Yeah.
Okay, but other than that, all the other storylines are very, very clean. Okay, most of the other storylines are very, very clean. Okay, because what happened? See, monthly tapped,
dropped.
Tapped, dropped. Okay, but what happened in here? I'll show you monthly to monthly. A nice monthly to monthly. What has the monthly time frame done? Closed above the monthly support.
Yeah.
Closed above the monthly support. So which means where are your next monthly levels? Right? Where are your next monthly levels? Use the line chart. We are currently here.
Yeah.
We have all these little spikes, right? These could be the
Mhm.
monthly closing prices.
Yeah.
Like this. This could be the next monthly levels. So until it gets here, what are you going to do? Buying. You're going to buy it.
Yeah.
Can you understand that? Now, what has happened? Monthly closed above monthly, daily broke structure. Has price gone into this area yet? Never. Not yet. Until it gets there, what are you going to do? Buying
Buy.
it.
Yeah.
Okay. Until it gets there, you're going to buy it. So even for this, this zone was the level that we had the confirmation, the trend line. Like this, the one that I showed you earlier.
Yeah.
Okay. So until it gets into these areas, what are you going to do? You're going to buy it. Keep on buying it. Don't worry. Don't worry about any of this stuff. Why? Because monthly has not gone into the next monthly area yet.
Yeah.
There it goes. Monthly gone into monthly, daily broken structure. What are you going to do from that point onwards? Sell it.
So,
Because why? Very clear, right? Monthly
Yeah.
has, monthly, like, can you see the precision out of it? The trend line and the monthly level together.
I see
Okay.
it.
So, now we did have this daily zone as here. Yeah, the daily zone as well in here. But yeah, broken support turns into resistance and all that stuff. But we have the monthly level in here, right? So why play with the daily level? Monthly is always stronger. Okay, so what happens? Tapped, there it comes. Okay, there it comes. So this is how you could have played with the monthly. Okay, this is how you could have played with the monthly. So which means if you take a sell here, where is your next target? Where is your next target? Here.
So the next monthly support.
Yeah. So just think of it. How much is the pip count? 1,000 pips.
Oh.
Okay. So remember, monthly time frame will be used for long-term trades.
Yeah.
Okay, trades that will last more than maybe 2 to 3 weeks, right? Weekly storylines are used for swing trades.
Yeah.
Okay. Daily storylines are mainly used for intraday stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, mainly for intraday, not even intraday like intra-week. Okay, but mainly like we will be playing with the weekly storylines. Okay, because the monthly storylines are, because you see there's not a lot of information on the monthly time frames, right?
Yeah.
Not a lot of information on the monthly
No.
time frame, so you will not have a lot of monthly storylines to be seen. But on the
Yeah.
weekly, I'll show you a lot. Okay, but you saw what happened here, right? Monthly, what happened? Once again, I'll show you. Monthly closed where?
Above.
Monthly has closed above the monthly.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so which means daily has broken structure right here.
Yeah.
So which means, okay, so which means what's your next thing? What's your next zone? The next monthly level from here to here.
Yeah.
See that? Because why? Where are the next spikes on the weekly, right? I'm sorry, on the monthly. Now, current price action is here. Where are your next monthly zones? Where are the little spikes on the line chart on the monthly? Here, here, and here.
Yeah.
So until it gets there, you can easily buy it. Okay, you can easily buy it. So even in these areas, like you could have bought it very easily in here. Like you could have maybe done some refinements into lower time frames and then bought it. Like I did have a buy, not from here, but from right here. This level right here. Okay, I'll show you how I got it, because this right here for me, this was a risk entry, right? This was a monthly level. How do I know if that level is going to hold or not, right? Very risky. Okay, so I did not take the direct entry from here. I took a little low risk entry from right here. Let me show you. Now, what has happened? Daily, okay, daily has created what? Daily has created a new support. I'll show you my entry now. Okay, I'll show you my entry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, what has the daily done? Daily has created a new support over here. Okay, so daily has created a new support and daily has tapped into it, closed above it. See that? Daily has tapped into it and it has closed above it. Now, let me go to the 4-hour time frame. Now, the 4-hour time frame, as a result of that daily thing, okay, the 4-hour time frame is also, I think the 1 hour actually.
Not bullish yet on the 4.
Yeah, there we go. 1 hour time frame has broken structure. Can you see that? 1 hour time frame has broken structure as a result of the daily closing above it. There we go. Very clearly, we have the bullish breaks. Okay, so now, once again, let's add a bit of support. I'm sorry, SMC into this. Okay, so see, stop hunt, breakout structure. Can you see it? What is
Yeah.
this? Strong low now. Okay, this will turn into a strong low. And then we had these Asian lows that were forming in these areas. And then on the 4-hour time frame, now let me delete this daily level because it has already played out.
Mhm.
Now for entries, we drop for one time frame lower. So daily has closed above daily. Okay, 1 hour has broken structure. So on
Yeah.
the 4-hour time frame, we have this, the QML, and this.
Yeah.
Two zones of interest. Okay, we have two
Mhm.
zones of interest. We have two zones of interest. So now what can we do? What can we do? Now we can buy it here. Stop loss below both the POIs. 30 pip stop loss. That is what we have for SNR. 30
Yeah.
pip stop loss below both the zones of interest. Can you understand that? This is what I did. Okay, this is what I did. So what happened?
So basically on H4 you marked out the POI based on QM.
Yes,
And then
exactly.
H1 you refined it for the entry, correct?
Yes, you can even refine it in the on the H1, or else just leave the 4-hour area as it is until you are confident with this stuff, comfortable with this stuff. Okay, so you're buying it here. Why are we buying it here? You saw it very clearly. Daily has tapped into the monthly.
Yeah.
Daily broke structure from somewhere around here. I don't remember.
Mhm.
Daily created a new support.
Yeah.
Once again, the daily tapped into the daily, closed above the daily. Okay. 2 time frames lower, we got a bullish breakout structure. So very clearly, you see that the next entry that we're going to take is what? A low risk entry.
Yeah.
So for sure, now you must, that's why I told you now, you're entering here. Okay, so what the support and resistance trade is doing, like for me, like since I'm very used to smart money concepts, I don't place entries everywhere. Okay, I do not place entries everywhere. I do not like that. Either I'll just directly take my trade from the bottom zone, just one entry, or else from the top one with a huge stop loss.
Yeah.
Okay, not huge with a 30 pip stop. But those guys, they start setting their buy limits from all this area. Buying here, buying here, buying here, buying here, buying here, buying here.
And get stopped out. Yeah.
And not stopped out actually, because they're having something like a 45 to 50 pip stop loss. Okay, so I don't want that. Okay, I don't want that. So we're buying it here, and then we can target all these areas. Right? Why? Daily to daily. Okay, so daily to daily. What happened? Wait, now there we go. Asian low as confluence. This right here was right at London Open. Okay, so session confluence. We have that. Then what happened? There it goes. Boom. This is what happens when you get a low risk entry. Can you see that? Because all the time frames are agreeing with each other.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Daily has closed, like tapped to the daily. Okay, and then it has, I'm sorry, even daily has clapped into a daily and then closed above it. You can see this, see that too, right? And then we had this daily zone in here that price tapped, closed above it. On the lower time frames, you did get a breakout structure, so there we go.
Yeah.
Okay, so then from that point onwards, we're buying it. So if you buy it here, where is your next target? The next monthly zone.
Yeah.
660 pips. See that? At a low risk entry. And it is a low risk entry because why? Why is it a low risk entry? We have all the confirmations we need, right? So what happened? Yeah. Wait. Don't worry about this. There it goes. Only after tapping into this, you got stopped out at break even.
Yeah.
Because by then you have gotten a new sell. By then you have gotten a new sell already. Can you understand it? Okay, so, by then you have gotten a new sell already. Okay, so there comes the drop once again. Okay, so that was a monthly to monthly storyline. You got that, right? Okay, so I'll show you. I'll show you some more.
It's very clear.
Yeah, I'll show you some more. Okay, let's see. Let's look for a weekly to weekly storyline. Where do we have clear weekly to weekly ones? Yeah, here we go. We have one in here. Not a very good one, but that's okay. What is this? A weekly resistance, right? We had a weekly resistance over here. We had a weekly resistance. So what did the market do? Tapped, closed below it. See that? Tapped, and then it has closed below it. So from this point onwards, what do? You look for sells. Why? Because on one time frame lower, you even got a breakout structure. See that? Breakout. Okay, now this is how you can do the multi-time frame. Okay, now this was a weekly level, right? But if you're now, let's say this was a weekly level and you're waiting for the weekly candle to close, so you have to wait until Friday. You have to wait until Friday. Can you understand that?
Yeah.
But if you do the multi-time frame analysis, you have a daily zone in here as well. Now the daily has closed below the daily. So from this point onwards, you can start looking for sells. See, now this tapped on Monday. So are you going to take the trade? Like, are you going to wait for one whole week for the weekly to close? No. Okay, now you see what has happened. The daily has tapped into a daily and daily has closed below it. From this day onwards, what are you going to do? sell it.
But say,
Okay,
yeah.
you are gonna sell it. You are gonna sell it like. Let's go into lower time frames. I think on the H1 we did get a break. Yeah, even on the H4. Tapped, closed below it. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Breakout structure.
Yeah.
Breakout.
Yeah.
Can you see it?
Yeah.
Very clear breakout structure. So we have the confirmation. Daily has tapped into daily, closed below the daily. 4-hour has broken structure.
Yeah.
So now when the market comes down the next day, okay, let's go to the next day. The next day starts here. From the next day, every time it goes up, what are you going to do? You're going to look for sells, right? You will be looking for sells. Okay, so what are the next zones on the 4-hour we have for entries? I told you for entries, we go into one time frame lower. We have these areas. I'm not sure if price tapped here. And I think price tapped into this little QM, this head and shoulder thing. See that?
Yeah.
Right here. Let's see. Yeah, there it comes. Like this.
So
Okay,
how do you know which zone to choose? Or
yeah, that is why we use these confluences, right? That is why we
no,
can
I mean
use
for
these
the
confluences maybe.
entry. In this case, it didn't
Yeah.
react at above,
Like
but
we can use this. We can use something like this. Yeah. Trend lines or something. Maybe we're gonna check if there's a trend line in line with our area. So if there's a trend line in line with our areas, we can look for cells, right? We can start looking for cells. That is how we can take these entries. Okay.
Yeah,
Or else
okay.
maybe let's check the H1. Let's check the H1 to see if we have any zones of interest. Not a zone of interest actually, to see if there are any trend lines. I think we did have one. No, not that. Let's check this. Yeah, maybe this one. Yeah, maybe. Okay, so I'll show you. I'll show entries. Of course, let's get into that part later. Okay, let's get into entries part later. Okay, but now you see the storyline thing, right? So this is how now, like I told you, now for this day, now this tapped here on Monday, so you can't wait until Friday. So the best thing to do is use the daily. Okay, use the daily, so that way you can wait for the next day, and then you can get the entry. Okay, you can get the entry. So now what has happened? Now price is falling. Okay, price is dropping down. Remember now, like we are looking for next daily zones, right? We are looking for the next daily zones because a daily to daily storyline. Okay, so now price is moving down. Once again, if we use a line chart, what is this? Head and shoulders. Okay, we have this head and shoulders. Can you see that? Yeah, price has broken through it. Now let's see. I did take an entry in here. My direct entry I could not take a direct entry from here because why? No confirmations for me.
Risk entry.
Risk entry. Okay, so I normally with SNR stuff, I not go for risk entries because I'll have to have a bigger stop loss and a lower lot size. So no point of it, right? But this right here, very sure. Okay, price has very clearly confirmed everything, right? It has tapped into the daily, lower time frame has broken structure. We had all of that. And I think we had a trend line too. Was it from here? I don't remember. I think something like this. No, I don't remember. But yeah, look at the reaction from this level. Okay, because what is this? The daily. Okay. Yeah, QM. The head and shoulders. There it goes. There it goes. Taps and boom. Melt. This was the entry I had. Because from here you see this one was risky, right? For me, I'm not a fan of these risk entries. Okay, so this was risky. So there we get the confirmation entry. So what is that? Daily QM. Okay, daily head and shoulders. H1 giving us the confluence, right? What's the confluence? We have this nice trend line in here. Okay, so even in here, like let's see if the points are engulfing. I'm pretty sure, yeah. First point, engulfing. Can you see that very clearly? Second point, engulfing. Third point will be our entry. Okay, so if I put the line, draw it properly, like this. Yeah, there it goes. Taps, there comes the low risk entry. Okay, but there was one problem with this entry. What is that? This played out during Asia. Okay, so I had a limit set here, a sell limit set here because I was monitoring price action at these areas. This was New York. Okay, I did not want to take any trades until price met here. So at this time, this was like 11:30. Yeah, see, this is 11:30 p.m. my time. So I'm asleep at that time. I don't trade at that time. So what I did was I set a sell limit here, 30 pips stop loss. Okay, 30 pips stop loss, and there comes another drop. Okay,
and still you stayed in the entry, even though it tapped during Asia.
Yeah, even though it taps during Asia, we have still gotten the entry. Okay, because like we know, like we had everything we need, right? Breakout structure on lower time frames. Daily has closed below daily. We had a daily resistance and a trend line giving us confluence. So yeah, why not take the entry, right? It's a very clean one. Okay, that was a very clean one. So let's see some weekly to weekly storylines. Yeah, even like right now we are in a weekly to weekly storyline, right? Weekly has closed above the weekly
Yeah.
support. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay. And now right now, there's the thing. If the weekly closes below this, what is this open close level? If weekly closes here, where is your next target?
The
Next
next
weekly zones, right?
weekly zone, yeah.
So now we even have a zone in here, open close levels.
Yeah.
Can you see it? Even until it gets here, what can we do? Sell it.
Yeah.
Sell it. Because why? 2 time frames lower, we have even gotten our breakout structure. So until it gets here, we're selling it. See, now this is what you should do. This is something from ICT actually. Okay, this is what ICT says because ICT is a support and resistance trader too. He just has named all the concepts. Okay, he has given it different names because an
Yeah.
order block is the open close level. Okay,
Yeah.
the support and resistance, those will be rejection blocks. Okay, so see this right here, ICT will call it a rejection block, but it's a support for us. Okay, so what ICT tells is this: when the market is bullish, okay, when the market is bullish, expect support to hold and resistance to be broken. Okay, same thing. When the market is bearish, expect resistance to hold and support to be broken. Now, the reason I brought that up is now, can you see how every single resistance is holding?
Yeah.
Open close levels. Okay,
Yeah.
SBR. All of these them are holding. See?
Yeah.
Taps, drops, taps, and it drops.
Yeah.
Okay, so remember when the market is bearish, you're only going to expect resistance to hold. Okay, you will only be expecting resistance to hold. Okay, so let's see. Let's see now. Let me go to the weekly. Let's see a nice weekly to weekly storyline, actually, a proper one. Where do we have a proper one? Yeah, like even this one right here. This was a nice weekly to weekly. What is this? A weekly resistance, right? This is a weekly resistance. So where has price tapped into? Right into it.
Close
and
below.
Close to below it, right? Close below it. Daily did not break. I think 4 hour broke structure. Yeah, 4 hour has broken structure in here. Can you see it? It's a line chart. Breakout. So now where is your next target? If it is coming from a weekly, your next target will be the next weekly. This or else this. Right? So now what do you do? Every time it goes up, right? Every time it goes up, what will you do? You will be looking for sell setups, right? Every time it goes up, you will be looking for sell setups only. Okay, so I'll show you where I got my trade from. Okay, so now what is this? Open close level, right?
Yeah.
Open close levels. Okay, so this right here was my target actually. This was the next weekly zone. So until it got here, I was very confident for sales. You see that, right? Now you see that very clearly. Okay, because weekly has closed below weekly, 4 hour has broken structure. Okay, 4 hour has broken structure in here. Okay, so what I did was, there comes my point of interest. We did have a little confluence into this. Where was that? That was a trend line. That was a trend line, but let's see. Okay, so this line right here, you see what that is, right? That is the daily open close level. Okay, you see, you saw that, right? So that was the daily open close level. So that was my entry point. Okay, that was my entry point. So I think it was a break and retest trend line. I don't remember. I think from here, from this little spike. You can see this little spike, right?
Yeah.
From here.
Hidden base actually.
Yeah, hidden base kind of thing. I think this was the entry. Yeah, there it goes. Taps. Once again, even this was an unfortunate trade because this played out during the Asian session. Okay, right at Asia, at Asia. Okay, so it tapped. There comes the drop into the next daily. Can you see the drop? There it comes. Until it gets here. See that now? If I take a sell here, low risk entry. Who cares about an entry, right? Like you're making the money from here to here. You have 380 pips. The 380 pip drop, right? So who cares? Okay, who cares? So then even the next days until, like, because price has not tapped into this until it gets here, what can you do? Still sell it. Okay, still sell it. Okay, so that is how we could have played with that. So daily to like weekly to weekly, bearish storyline. So from the daily, we got a nice entry in here. Can you see it? A very nice entry in here. Okay, so I think pretty much like even the next day, we can expect it to be bearish. Okay, even the next day, we can expect it to be bearish. Why?
It didn't tap the daily yesterday.
Yeah, now look at this. We had these levels in here on the daily. Price has closed below these levels. Can you see the price has closed below this level? So even the next day we can expect it to be bearish. But now you see, if I go back to the weekly closed below weekly. So like I told you,
Mhm.
this will be your next target. So until it comes here, you sell. Until it comes here, you sell. So see,
Yeah.
you have a very nice setup in there. 500 pips. A 500 pips setup there. That's more than enough for the week actually. Okay, so if you
Yeah.
had 500 pips, okay, so that's more than enough for the week. For me,
Yeah.
that's more than enough. Okay, so
Yeah.
something like that. I'll show you some more. Let's see where we had some daily storylines now. Let's see. Some clear daily. Yeah, even in here we did have a daily storyline. Why? You see that, right? Okay. Tapped, closed above it.
Yeah.
Okay. So your
Yeah.
next targets will be these
Steady. Yeah.
areas. Okay, daily to daily. So let's see some more. Yeah, see this one. Look at this one right here. What is this? Support, right? A daily support, daily closed above it. And even the daily itself gave us the bullish breakout. That same day.
So no need to go to lower time frame.
You don't even have to go to the 4 hour because why? Like
Yeah.
the daily has given us the the daily has very clearly shown us the bullish breakout, right?
Mhm.
It has very clearly given us that bullish breakout. Okay, so
Yeah.
which means now what can we do? We can start looking for buys. Okay, we can start looking for buys from this area. So let's see. We had this breakout structure right here after tapping into a daily zone. Okay, after tapping into a daily zone. So let's see. Yeah, once again, even this right here, this was actually a weekly to weekly storyline, if I remember properly. Yeah, I'm right. Can you see that?
Yeah. Yeah.
That was a weekly to weekly. Why? The weekly has closed above the weekly. You
Yeah.
can see it very clear, right? So
Yeah.
if it is the weekly to weekly storyline, what will be your obstacles? What will be
Daily.
obstacles? Daily time frame, right?
Yes.
The daily time frame will be the time frame for obstacles. Okay, so let's
Yeah.
see. Go to the daily. Yeah, what are your next daily zones? Okay, what are your next daily zones? We have the market is here. Price has already tapped into this resistance. Can you see a head and shoulder thing? Price has tapped into it, closed below it. That is why it's coming down.
Yeah.
And let's see. What are the other obstacles we have? Let's see where the weekly to weekly storyline is getting completed actually, because I think price has tapped into these areas at least, right? If it comes from here, at least into this area. Why? Weekly to weekly. Okay, so let's see. Let's go to the daily. Okay, daily has tapped into these areas. So let's wait. Okay, still respecting. Can you see? Daily is still respecting the daily zones. Okay, daily is still respecting the daily zones.
Yeah.
Oh, I even had a buy in here. Yes, I even had a buy in here. Yeah, this was a new week, start of a new week. We can see that weekly has closed above weekly, right? Weekly has closed above the weekly. Daily has closed above a daily. What do you think? What do you think this point of interest is? Where do you think this tapped into? Do you have any idea? I'll tell you it's on the daily itself. Look at this. First touch.
Trend line.
Yeah, it was a trend line. Can you see that? Engulfing, and with that daily trend line, we had the 4-hour support. Can you see that?
Multiple confluences.
Multiple confluences. Okay,
Yeah.
so we can even buy it here. So I even had another buy in here because the weekly has closed above weekly, and the 4-hour has given us a breakout structure. We had this Asian low in here. I think it was an Asian low, and once again we had this weekly. I'm sorry, the 4-hour supports in here.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, did have another buy in here if I remember. Let's see.
Yeah.
Oh no, I think the buy was in here because I don't remember. Okay, but yeah, let's see. Okay, so now what has happened though? Now even the daily has clearly turned bearish.
Close below.
Can you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it has broken bearish. Okay, but never tapped into a weekly zone. So this point onwards, this day I was a bit confused because can you see that? It never tapped into this zone right here. Can you see that? Weekly to weekly.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was waiting until price gets here. Now I'm showing you the reality, okay, because I just can't show you hindsight examples of what only played out. No, okay, so it will fail at times too. Okay, so I was waiting until it gets here. Okay, but what happened was it went up. I was still looking for buys. I was still buying it. Okay, still buying it, but then all of a sudden we got this
Mm.
breakout structure. Okay, so in here I tried to buy it once again, got stopped out.
Yeah.
Okay, but
Yeah.
then now clearly we have gotten a nice bearish break.
Yeah.
See that, which means what is this? Turns into a strong high now.
Yeah.
Yeah, this turns into a strong high and all that stuff. So once again, got an entry from somewhere around here, but the thing is, it never got into this weekly zone in here. You see that, right? So sometimes that happens, can't help it. Okay, sometimes that happens, but not all the time. Not all the time. Sometimes it happens. So you'll have to be a little flexible at that times. Okay,
Yeah,
so we'll have to
yeah.
be a little flexible. So that's that. I'll show you another. Yeah, I'll show you another one. I think it was on the weekly. It was on the monthly. Yeah. On the monthly, now what has the price done? Price has closed above a monthly. What's that? Above a monthly support.
Support. So,
Can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay, now, yeah, this has tapped into it. Yeah, that's perfectly fine. We did not necessarily take a trade here, but price has closed above it.
Yeah.
Can you see it? So which means a monthly to monthly storyline has begun. So
Yeah.
what are your next zones of interest? Zones on the monthly, right? So we had this.
Yeah.
Right? We had this, and also we had this open close levels. Can you see that? Okay, so
Yeah.
we did have these levels. So let me put a line here so that way we know this will be the start of a new month. Okay, this will be the start of a new month. So what can we do? Until it gets here, what can you do? Buy.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, until it gets into either one of these zones, we're gonna buy it, right? We can keep on buying it. Okay, so that is exactly what I did. But on the daily, of course, we did not have any clear setups. All these days we were using the 4 hours for some reason. Okay, but let's see. Price started going up. See, keeps on going up. Keeps on going up. Patiently wait. Patiently wait. Now it has tapped into daily. Now this was a monthly level. Okay, just because the daily has closed below it, we can't take that as confluence, right? We can't take that as the confluence. Let's wait. There it goes. Okay, it has tapped into a monthly level. And if you remember the example I showed you here, I told you. Now, what has happened? Now, this was a new week, right? This was a new week. So if you're waiting for the weekly to close, you'll have to wait the whole, like, you'll have to wait for a very long time, right? You'll have to wait for a very long time. Okay, now that same way, look at this. This is where the new month has started. This is the 10th of October, the 10th of August. Are you going to wait for like 20 more days until this candle closes? No. Okay, now what we can see is something like this. We keep this line here. Daily has closed below daily.
Yeah.
See that? Daily has closed below daily, and on one time frame lower, what did we get? We got a
structure.
Breakout structure. Breakout. Can you see that? We clearly got a breakout structure in here. Okay, we got a breakout structure in here. So which means from that point onwards, what do? You sell it.
Sell. Yeah.
Okay, you keep on selling it. So that is exactly what happens. So I got the high risk entry from right here. I refined this point of interest, this monthly point of interest, into this open close level on the 4 hour.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can see what happened. Tapped, boom, like right away. Look at that.
Bullseye.
Yeah, we'll say 250 pips right away. Breakout structure. So this breakout structure made me even more happy because why? Like now what do we know? Daily has closed below daily. 4 hour has given us a breakout structure. Start of a bearish storyline.
So you can stack entries.
Stack entries now. Okay, from that point onwards, what you do is you stack entries. And also remember, it's a monthly to monthly. If you take sales here, okay, if you take sales here, once again, your next targets, this thing, my next target was from here to here, monthly to monthly. Can you see it? Monthly to monthly, because no other zones in here, right? No other zones in here, but on monthly to monthly, what are your obstacles? Weekly.
Dailies. Oh, weeklies, yes.
Weekly, remember that. Okay, weekly. So now if you are taking sales here, where are your next obstacles? Maybe these, right? These areas right here. These areas right here, where price is currently reacting from. See? This and this. Like this. Can you see it? So remember, if we are taking sales here, we must monitor these areas as well. See that? We must monitor these areas as well. Okay, so now see, now you're selling it. What happened? There comes the drop. There it comes. Taps, drops right away. So don't worry, because why? You will like anyway have around a 700 pip target, right?
Yeah.
Until your next obstacle.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have that. So price started coming down. Yeah, there was a reversal trend line in here as well. Let me show you. Where is the second point?
Below.
Below a higher time frame level. So this will be your second point. This could even be your first point. So drawing a trend line.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it tapped right into it. Let's check. Yeah, almost into it. And this level right here, I told you what now, and the 4 hour is the time frame that we used to do the refinements, right?
Yeah.
That's the time frames we used to do the refinements.
Yeah.
So what is this? This is a weekly level, right? This was a weekly level. I refined it to a H1. Did not take the risk entry once again. Okay, but yeah, refined it to the cleanest next H1 points. We had one in here. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Support.
The cleanest support. Yeah.
Yeah, the cleanest support in here, and you can see where the buy is currently coming from. Look at that. Where's the current buy coming from? Taps.
It's the instant stop.
Yeah, taps started flying. So it was in here for a very long time, though. That's the problem. See?
Yeah.
37 days. Okay, 37 days we were on the same area. Okay, so this is how we can play with this storyline. So let's see some more. I'll show you a daily storyline.
It's very powerful.
Yeah, it's very powerful. Okay, it is very powerful, but like you must understand it very well. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Okay, you must understand it very well. You have to do the back testing because it's not that easy actually. Okay, it is not that easy. Let me show you a nice daily to daily storyline on Euro USD that we had this past week. Yeah, in here.
You can also apply it on the EU.
Yeah, we can apply for direction. Of course, you can apply it anywhere. Okay, but gold is the one that is best actually. Okay, that's why we trade gold. That's why I'm showing you examples on gold. Okay, so yeah, look at this resistance. Okay, we had a very clear resistance in here. The daily has tapped that, and then it has closed below it, right? So which means maybe the start of a new daily storyline. So your next daily points of interest can be here, or else here. These areas. See, this would be the best zone because why? We have this, and we have these little spikes as well. Can you see it? Okay, so that could be now. See, ICT will call it a breaker. Okay, so breaker blocks. So same thing. Okay, so there we go. Like this. Now, if we are like, what are we going to do since the daily has closed below daily? Now we can start looking for sells, right? We can start looking for sells. So that is exactly what happened. Yeah, look at that. Tapping into that same zone once again. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Same zone. I told you this daily zone, the daily, weekly, and monthly zones are very powerful. I told that, right? Look at that. Tapping into the same zone, coming down. Still, this zone is unmitigated. There we go. Now it comes here. So that's the thing. Once it closed below this, from that point onwards, you must have a little understanding. Okay, now since the daily has closed below the resistance, we can still expect a little drop into these areas, right? Okay, so that is why the drop came. And then again, it started flying. Okay, because it was only a pullback. Okay, so a little daily to daily one. I'll show you another one. I remember. Let's go to gold. Let's see. What did we have on gold? This was intraday. Okay, I'll show you. I'll send you the screenshots actually. Okay, then you'll see how I had all the screenshots marked out beforehand. Okay, so not just hindsight stuff. Okay, I had everything marked out beforehand. These were the days when I was like actually getting into this properly. Okay, this was August. Okay, so look at this. Daily has closed below daily, above daily. Okay, so what are your next zones of interest? The next daily levels, right? Where are your next daily levels? We had I'll tell you why I used this level. Okay, we have this. What is that? A daily head and shoulder, right? Or as a QML, whatever. Okay, yeah, you can call it whatever. Or it's a daily imbalance. Okay, according to smart money, we had a daily imbalance in here. Okay, now the daily has closed above daily, and I told you one time frame or as 2 time frames lower has to give you a breakout structure. So what did the H1 do? Broke structure. Breakout. Can you see it? Very clearly a breakout. So which means daily to daily is in play, right? So from here, are you going to take any trades here? No. Are you going to take a trade here? No. This. Okay. So what are the confluences we have for this zone? We had a trend line, engulfing, like this. Can you see it? Right here. We had a trend line. Yeah, we had a trend line in here. And then So now you know that a new day is about to begin from here. What can you
Mhm.
do? You can look for buys, right?
Yeah.
Daily has closed above daily. 1 hour has broken structure. So
Yeah.
now let me show you. Now we had an Asian low in here, messing around like this.
Mhm.
This happened. Okay, so I'll show you. Okay, Asian low building up. See that?
Yeah.
Liquidity, whatever. Like, yeah, those stuff is not support and resistance. So you understand that, right?
Yeah,
So there
yeah,
you go.
yeah, yeah.
Liquidity building up. Okay, extra confluence and timing right at London kill zone.
Yeah.
Tapped back into that daily level. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Right back into the daily level. And
Yeah.
what happens? Oh, there it goes.
Nice.
There it goes. Okay, so another entry in here, I'll show you. What is this? Breakout.
Yeah.
RBS, right? Resistance broken with
Yeah.
high momentum. Okay, then back into that. Starts to go. Starts to go. Now there we go. Trend lines, daily, liquidity below the point of interest,
Yeah.
and timing as a confluence. What's the timing? London kill. I'm sorry, New York kill zone.
Yeah.
4:30 p.m. my time. New York kill zone. Taps.
Mm.
There comes another drop.
Wow.
Intraday. That's why I told you daily to daily. The daily to daily storylines are mainly used for intraday plays. Okay, so what
Yeah.
happens? See,
Yeah.
buy here, sell here.
So there.
So when you're taking buys here, are you unnecessarily selling it here? No.
No.
Are you selling it here? Are you selling it here? No.
No.
This will be your next zone of interest. Okay. So look at this. This was more than 100 pips actually. 110 pips. 110 pip buy. And since the market was still bearish, to take a sell here, it's coming all the way down into the monthly targets itself. Okay. Into the
Yeah.
monthly itself, because I showed you that from here, a new monthly storyline started, right? I showed
Yeah.
you that example
Yeah.
from here. So now when the time frames are agreeing with each other, you must leave the runners. That is when you leave the runners.
Yeah.
Okay. So there
Yeah.
comes the drops. Okay. So there comes all the drops like that. Okay. So let's see some more. Let's try to see a daily zone. Another daily to daily. Where did we have a daily to daily? Let's see one more. Yeah, see, even in here, a nice one. Yeah, we did talk about these examples. You saw how we had a monthly storyline from here to here, right?
Yeah.
We had a monthly storyline from here
Yeah.
to here, and yeah, somewhere down here was your monthly point of interest.
Yeah.
Price has tapped into the monthly zone. Daily has broken structure.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have that. And then now look at this. We had a resistance here on the daily. Okay, so what happened? Price tapped into it, and
Close
then it
below.
has closed below it,
Yeah.
right? So which means, what are your next targets? A daily to daily in play, maybe these areas, right?
This. Yeah.
So until it gets there, what are you going to do? Until it gets
Selling.
there, sell it.
Yeah.
Okay, so until it comes here, you will keep on selling it. Okay, you will keep on selling it. Don't bother about the buy setups. Okay,
Yeah.
do not
Yeah.
bother about the buy setups. Just solely focus on sells only.
Selling.
Okay, just
Yeah.
focus on sells only. So let's patiently wait. Patiently
Yeah.
wait. See if we had some other point of interest. We had this high. Yeah, now I'm looking at smart money stuff. So this will be a high that failed to create. This is actually internal range liquidity. Okay, so
Yeah.
yeah, there it gets taken out. It's taken out into where? Where did it get taken out into? Yeah, I think on the H1 we had this level. That might have had some confluence. Yeah, we had the engulfing candles. Yeah, something like this.
Mm.
Taps. There it comes. There it comes. Until it
Yeah.
gets here, what do? You sell it. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's why I told you. Now, these daily to daily storylines are mainly used for like intraday
Intradays.
setups.
Yes.
Okay, so
Yes.
intraday setups. So can you understand about the storyline thing? Yeah.
Yeah. It's very clear. Yeah.
Yeah, like as of now, like I'm not gonna tell you like it's easy. Okay, you see that, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
like even to
Especially.
find examples, I'm still struggling. You
Yeah,
see
and
that
also switching
so
to multiple time frames. So
time frames.
yeah.
Okay, so yeah, let's talk about how we use the time frames later. Okay, let's talk
Okay.
about how we
Okay.
use the time frames later with examples. Okay,
Okay.
but for now, you understand about the storyline thing, right?
Yeah,
Like how
yeah, I
it starts,
understand. I
how
just
it
have
ends.
one question regarding the
Yeah,
marking of
what's
the
it?
storyline. So, for example, when you mark the weekly storyline,
Yeah,
do you drop to 2 time frames lower or 1 time frame lower to refine it,
like
or you just leave it?
you can refine it. You can refine it. It's not a problem. Okay, so I personally I do not refine it because I told you I'm not gonna go for direct entries.
Yeah.
Okay, because
Okay.
like, for example, let's say this right here was my weekly level that I want to buy it. Okay, but let's say I marked it out like this. Now I
Yeah.
can even go into lower time frames and then refine it. Maybe like we had some daily zones in here
Yeah.
and here.
Yeah.
Maybe go to the 4 hour.
Mhm.
But what's the point of refining if I'm not going to take the direct entry, right?
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
thing. Okay,
Yeah.
so that is why I don't personally refine. Now you can refine
Okay.
it, no problem with that. Until it goes into the H1, you can refine it. Okay.
Okay.
Until to the H1, like even a weekly zone can be refined to the H1. Like for example, the current cell that is coming from all the way up here. Where is
Mhm.
it coming from? Yeah, this is what my mentor showed me. Okay, so look at this resistance.
Yeah.
Okay, he had the direct entry from all the way up here, from the way top.
Wow.
That is like 4,000 pips right now.
Oh.
Okay, and then yeah, he refined it to the H1. Hopefully we can go there.
So
Yeah.
refine the weekly to H1.
Daily. Yeah,
Daily
we
to
had a
H1.
daily
Okay.
zone. Yeah, see, a daily resistance.
Mhm.
This is why I told you to use the closing prices. Okay, because
Yeah.
if you use the opening price,
You'll miss it.
where is it? Out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Okay, out of nowhere. Okay, so always just go to the line chart, and then he refined it to the H1 levels right here. That's why I told you those guys said it from everywhere. See, now we had this.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
we had this, we had this, and even this.
Yeah.
Okay, so he had this cell from one of these zones. I didn't even know where. Look at where. Yeah, look at that.
Wow.
He had the cell from right here, like from right here. Okay, and then like when this happened, for some reason he told me like this will be a huge drop. Okay, I don't know how he told that to me. Honestly, I do not know. I don't even want to know because who cares, right? We're not swing traders. Okay,
Yeah.
so that guy is a swing trader, but
Mm.
I'm not. Okay, so I did not care about that. But for me, what I did was this day daily closed below daily.
Mhm.
See that? Daily closed below daily. And on, I think, the H1, we got a breakout structure. Let's check the H1. Okay, let's see. Oh. Yeah, not the H1 actually. This was the confirmation for me. The little break of the support in here. Can you see that? Okay, so not I'll tell you, this is not a very good thing to use. Okay, but in these days, these were the days when I started learning this thing. Okay, so I had a 30-minute time frame confluence. Look at this. I'll show you very clearly. Top fund, breakout structure. Okay, Asian high.
Yeah.
Taken out by London, and London created a new resistance.
Yeah.
Okay, so this right here was my entry. Right here. Cut. And there it comes. Okay, so this was my entry, not from here, not from here. You see, this was a very high risk entry for me because even if I just directly took my sell from right here, okay, so it would have been a huge drawdown, an 80 pip drawdown. Okay, so I don't want that. Okay. Yeah. So for me, of course, when I took my sell here, I targeted. Yeah, these days I was not that familiar with the storyline stuff. I was focusing on ranges like I do in smart money.
Yeah.
Okay, so when I took my sell here, my next target was this internal range liquidity.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, you can check these entries out on my channel. From here to here, I held everything, 1,400 pips. Okay, it was a nice 1,400 pip drop. So more than enough, right? What more do we need? Okay,
More than enough.
but you see where the entry came from, right?
Yeah.
From right there. Okay, so that's that. Yeah. Now let's talk about the confirmations. Again, yeah, we already talked about the confirmations. Like, what are the confirmations? It has to close below that level, and one time frame or two time frames lower, you have to get a breakout structure.
Yes.
Yeah. Now I'll tell you what are the strong levels. Okay, the strong support and resistance levels. So let me delete this. Okay. Now for me, now this is something that I backtested and understood. Like, he did not teach me something like this. This is what, for me, this is a strong resistance. If it has done this, a stop punt and a breakout structure. Okay. A stop punt and a breakout structure makes this a very strong resistance. Okay. Makes this a very strong resistance. And same thing, for it to be a strong support, it has to do this. We have to have this formation in here. Can you understand that? Okay, we have to have this formation in here. Okay, so this is what makes it a strong resistance and a strong support. The next thing, let's talk about the confluence. Okay, let's talk about the confluence. Remember one thing, when the market is reaching here, you have to always check the momentum. You have to
Yeah.
always check the momentum,
Mhm.
because if the market is just coming up like this without any sorts of pullback, expect it to get taken out.
Yeah.
Just expect it to be broken.
Yeah.
Okay. But if the market is reaching here like this is what you can expect.
And on
Can you
which
understand? So which means,
yeah, and on which time
yeah,
frame do
I'll tell you,
you?
I'll tell you,
Okay,
I'll tell you. Okay,
okay,
so now it's like this. If this is a weekly if this is a weekly resistance,
yeah,
you can expect at least the 4 hour to build up some liquidity below it. Okay,
okay.
I'll use the term liquidity. He did not use the term, okay, but I'll use the term liquidity since we know it. Okay, so
Yeah,
liquidity must be resting below a resistance. Must. It's a must. Okay,
okay,
liquidity must be resting below a resistance. That is when we know it turns into, like, that's one confluence that zone is gonna hold.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
that zone is gonna hold. So that is when we know, like,
So,
when price is reaching it with, like, when building liquidity with compression, we know that this will be
mhm,
a zone that is gonna hold. But if it is coming up without any sort of a pullback, if it is just coming up like this,
yeah,
expect it to get taken out. Just expect it to get taken out. It will break. Okay, it will break. I can guarantee you that. But if it is reaching here with, like, even if it does this, creates a high like this, still you can expect this to happen.
as long as
Okay,
it creates liquidity.
the most important thing is you need to see liquidity below the resistance.
Yeah,
Okay, you need to see liquidity below the resistance, and then same thing in here. It has to have liquidity above the resistance.
yeah,
I'm sorry, above the support, like this. Okay, so that is when we know that this zone will hold. Okay, might hold, because why? We have some liquidity right
still,
above
yeah,
it. Okay, so something like that. Can you understand that? Okay, so which means
yeah,
it
it's
has to
clear.
reach these zones. Yeah, it has to reach these zones with with a consolidation in a
Mhm,
sideways market. Okay, it has to reach
mhm,
there with a sideways market. And also another thing, let's say the market is reaching here like this. And once again, let's talk about liquidity. Let's say they're building up an Asian high. Okay,
mhm,
an Asian high, a manipulation of the Asian high at London Open. There it comes, timing now. Okay,
yeah,
let's say price is reaching here with timing after
mhm,
a manipulation of a high. Even then we can expect this. I can guarantee you this happens.
yeah,
Okay, this
yeah,
happens. This is what happens. Okay, so once again, you have to see if price is reaching these areas at the right time. So what are the right times? London kill zone or London Open, New York kill zone or New York Open, mainly.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
mainly. And the next thing, let's say we have all of this stuff.
mhm,
Let's say we have all of this stuff, and as well as a trend line. There we go. A very nice, like, all the confluences we need, something like
yeah,
this. Trend lines, okay, a strong resistance, liquidity below it. Okay, so for me, these are the setups I would go full margin. Boom. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, like, people actually do that. Okay, support and
yeah,
resistance traders, you would have seen that they go full margin on setups. Okay,
yeah, yeah.
those are their own setups. Okay, the own setup, like, everyone has their own setups. Like, for
Mm,
my mentor, like, he had something like this, a resistance, and then, like, some candle closing below it, and then this was his setup.
yeah,
Okay, this was his setup, but for me, this is the setup I want. Okay,
yeah,
something like this, strong high, okay, or it's a strong resistance, liquidity below it, timing, trend line confluence, I'll go full margin.
yeah,
You can
okay,
backtest this and see. Okay, so this works pretty well. Okay, so
yeah,
these will be the confluences. Okay, these
okay.
will be the confluences. So can you understand this? Yeah, support,
Yeah, yes,
resistance, and all that
yes,
stuff. Yeah.
yes,
So
it's
now
clear.
let's see how we can get some entries. Okay, let's see how
Yeah.
we can get some good entries
So
with this.
basically, one question, basically the trading ranges, you with this SNR, you don't use it at all.
You can use it. Okay, you can use it,
Okay.
but I'm not gonna go deeply into trading ranges because I don't want to confuse you, because this is just only about support and
Yeah,
resistance.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
only
yeah,
about support and resistance, because
yeah.
there's no point of just talking about all of that stuff.
Mm,
Okay, then
okay.
you'll be confused. Okay, what to use. The thing is, like, you'll think, okay, what am I to use? A range or as a storyline?
Yeah.
Range or as a storyline? Okay, so that will get you confused. So just
I
focus
think
on one thing at a time.
storyline is maybe stronger than the trading range,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Storylines are way more better than
yeah,
trading ranges.
yeah.
Okay, but after some time, once you have the understanding of both of them, okay,
Hmm.
then you can play around. Okay, then you can play around with all that stuff.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so, like, only once you get that. Okay, so yeah, let's see how we can, for storylines, entries, and all that stuff. So let's say, yeah, let's talk about this example itself.
Yeah.
Okay, so now what did I tell you? What did I tell you? Monthly has closed above monthly, right?
Yeah.
Monthly has closed above a monthly support. Okay, monthly has closed above a monthly support. So which means your next targets will be where? the monthly levels. Okay, the next
Yes.
monthly level will be your target. So which means maybe here, right? These areas will be your targets, or else maybe here. Okay, or else if you use a candlestick, you will see we had the open closing levels in here.
Mhm.
Can you see it? Okay, so yeah, we had all these areas in here.
Yeah.
The next thing, okay, so now we know that, yeah, monthly has already started the bullish storyline, right? The
Yeah.
monthly has already started the bullish storyline because it has closed above those areas. Okay,
Yeah.
so we can have those marked out. Then
Mhm.
let's go to the weekly. Okay, we can go to the weekly.
Mm.
On the weekly, what do we look for? We look for the obstacles, right? We
Yeah.
look for the obstacles. So what will be our obstacles? Okay, what will be our obstacles? So let's check. We have one zone in here. Can you see it? We
Yeah.
have one zone in here. And maybe, yeah, we had another zone in here. Too many obstacles.
Yeah.
Okay, we had all these areas in here on the weekly. So let's wait.
Mm.
Go to the daily. Now, what are we going to do until it gets here? That's the next question. What are we going to do until it gets into these areas? Are we going to look for sells from in between these?
No.
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 Okay.
Still
In
buying.
between, yeah, in between those, of course, we will not be looking for any trades. Okay, we will not be looking for any trades. Like not, I mean, we're not going to look for sells. We will only be looking for buys. Okay, we
Yeah.
will only be looking for buys. So let's see. What has the daily done? Daily has not closed below this, so we know that there are no storylines yet. Now, the only thing we can do is we can use the lower time frames to follow the trend. Can you understand it? It's using the lower time frames to follow the trend. Let's go to the 4-hour, see what the 4-hour has to offer. Yeah, on the 4-hour, of course, now we have what? A breakout structure. Can you see it? We can see a breakout structure very clearly in here. If I use a line chart, once again a bullish breakout. Can you see it? We
Yeah.
have a very clear bullish breakout. Okay, so
Yeah.
that's that. And then, yeah, for this, I use the range. I'll show you once again. So what is this? This is a strong low, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, liquidity taken. Okay, liquidity was taken. Structure was broken. I'll show you. Not yet, not yet. Patiently wait. There it goes.
Yeah.
Breakout structure. Okay, so we had a
Mhm.
very clear breakout structure in here. So then this turns into what? This turns into a strong low, right? This
Yeah.
will turn into a strong
Support.
low. Now if
Yeah.
I go to the, yeah, a support. Now if I go into the lower time frames, what is this? This will turn into liquidity, right?
Yes.
Internal range liquidity. Okay, you
Mm.
can call it whatever. And
Mhm.
then what is this? A trend line is building up with engulfing points.
Oh.
Can you see it?
Yeah.
Yeah, a trend line is building up. So what am I going to do? Until it gets into these areas, I'm going to keep on buying it, right?
Yeah.
I will be buying it until it gets into these areas at
Yes.
least.
Yeah.
Okay, at least into these areas. Because now, like on what time frame are we going to wait for a breakout structure in here? Daily,
Daily. Yes.
right? Yeah,
Yes.
minimum will be daily.
Yeah.
Okay, minimum will be daily because why? We are on a monthly to monthly storyline, right? We
Yeah.
are on a monthly to monthly storyline. Okay,
Mm.
so let's wait. Let's wait. Don't care about the sells. Okay, do not see
Mhm.
how to trade the pullbacks. Do not care about that. If it
Okay.
gets into these areas, we're buying it. That's the
Yeah.
only thing we do. Okay,
Mm.
so let's wait. Let's wait. Let's see. Yeah, everything is set. We have this liquidity in here. We have this in here, and we can even see this one right here. Break and retest trend line.
Mm.
Can you see it?
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
had a break
Yeah.
and retest trend line. Let's go to the 4-hour time frame. Yeah, you'll have to train your eyes.
Yeah.
Let's go to the 4-hour time frame. I think we had a 4-hour imbalance in line with them. You can even use them. Okay, we have the break and retest. Oh, the H1 rejection block. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Right here? Not the rejection block. Actually, I'm sorry. I'm
There's this support.
using all the names. Okay, so closing prices. We had
Yeah.
the open and closing price levels
Yeah.
in here. Okay, so this could also be another buy level. Let's see. I took a buy in here. I'm not sure about this, but let's see. Okay, there it comes. Okay, taps. Now, if you are buying it here, okay, you can have at least,
30
yeah, your
pips.
stop loss will be here. Let's say 25 pips. And then first target will be here, right?
Yeah.
First target will be here.
Yeah.
Okay, so don't worry. Okay, do not think, oh, it's only a 1 to 3. Now, this is support and resistance, not smart money. Okay, you're not going to have huge RR right away. Okay, so for RR, of course, it will take some time. Support and resistance is all about the win rate. Okay,
Yeah.
it is all about the win rate. Okay,
And
so
it's
whatever.
all about making money also.
Yeah, it's all about making the money. Okay, so we don't care about anything else. Okay, so let's see. Price taps here. Okay, okay, not yet, not yet. Wait, there it goes.
Yeah.
Pay yourself at around 100 pips, see there?
Yeah.
100 pips, more than enough, right? We
Yeah.
had 100 pips, so let's
Yeah.
patiently wait. Okay, patiently wait. Now remember, on the 4-hour, this low is also what? Looks like internal range liquidity, right? Is all.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that is also there. Let's wait. Okay, we had a trend line building up in here. Patiently wait. Okay, there it comes down. Okay, there
Down.
comes another entry.
Yeah.
Can you see it? There comes
Yeah.
another entry from over here after liquidity is taken out. I think there was a high time frame point of interest. Yeah, rejection block. I'm sorry, closing prices. Okay, once
Closing
again,
open. Yeah.
closing prices. In line with what? In line with the trend line. I told you we're not going to use trend lines blindly. I told that to you, right? We will be using it with these higher time frame levels. Okay,
Yeah.
with the higher time frame levels. So there we go. What did we have? We had a daily closing price. Okay, we had a
Yeah.
daily closing price. So you could have bought it like this. Okay, so buying it like this, stop loss can be around 25 to 30 pips. Let's say 30 pips just to be safe. And we're targeting these highs, a 1 to 10. A 1 to 10 very safely. Okay,
Yeah.
so let's see. Okay. Wait, don't worry. There it goes. Oh. Okay, you saw that entry, right? You saw where it came from. Why are we buying it? Because why? Even though it tapped here and broke structure, we don't care because we're waiting for breakout structure only on the daily time frame.
Yeah.
Can you understand? Only on the daily time frame. Okay, so we don't care about this little breakout structure on the 4-hour. Okay, let it go. Let it go.
Yeah, because
This
it's
is
a
how you can avoid.
monthly level, right?
Exactly.
That's right.
It's
Yeah.
a monthly and a
Okay.
weekly level. Okay,
Yeah.
so we don't care about that. So there we go. We had a nice entry in here. Okay, we had a nice entry in here. So let's wait. Okay, let's wait. And also I showed you another entry that was from here. Now look at this. After you get a breakout structure in here, this turns into another strong low. Liquidity taken, structure broken.
Yeah.
Is it? Liquidity taken, structure broken. Now, if I go to the daily time frame, let's look for the point of interest. Yeah, we had two zones of interest. What is that? A rejection block. Can you say? Oh, I'm sorry, once again. Closing price. Yeah, I'm
No
used
problem.
to the smart money names. Okay,
Yeah.
but you get the point, right?
Yeah, I
Okay, you
get the point. Yeah.
We had this closing price because I haven't taught support and resistance to anyone. I don't do that. Okay, I only teach smart money. Okay, and then we have this support.
Yeah.
We have this. Now you see, even if I teach smart money, I'm teaching the same thing.
Yeah,
Okay, support and
basically,
resistance.
yes.
I'm combining it. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm just like even for this, I'll call this a rejection block and this a rejection block too. But the only thing is I don't show the trend lines. How we
Yeah.
use the confluence.
Yeah.
Okay, because that's something else. And then what are the confluences? I told you it has to have what? Liquidity, right? I'm
Yeah.
sorry, liquidity. And the next thing is we have to have a trend line as confluence. Okay, we have to have a trend line as confluence. So I showed you this. First touch, engulfing. Second point, engulfing. Third point, we can expect price to get into these areas. Can you understand that? We can expect price to get into these areas. So now I was waiting to show you. Okay, wait, breakout structure, coming down. Can you see?
No.
Gave it. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so now, first thing about this is now, we will only be using now, that's like a motto. Motto.
Yes.
Yeah, now look at this. We had these levels in here on a monthly to monthly. Confused because
and on which time? Yeah, and on which time frame do you?
Very safely. Okay, so let's and maybe bullish breakout. Can you see that? We have a very clear bullish weekly zone can be refined to the H1. Like for example, the current sell that is coming, you see liquidity below the resistance, and then same thing in here. It has to have liquidity above the resistance. I'm sorry, above the support, like this. Okay, so that is when we know that this zone will hold. Okay, might hold because why? We have some liquidity right above it. Okay, so something like that. Can you daily? Because why? We are on a monthly to monthly storyline, right? We are on a monthly to monthly storyline. Okay, so let's wait. Don't care about the sells. Okay, do not see how to trade the pullbacks. Do not care about that. If it gets into these areas, we're buying it. That's the only thing we do. Okay. Oh, Okay, you saw that entry, right? You saw where
Yeah,
it came from.
yeah,
Why are we buying it? Because why? So there, let's wait. Go to the 4-hour, see what the 4-hour has to offer. Yeah, on the 4-hour, of course, now we have what? A breakout structure. Yeah, breakout. Can you see it? Right?
Yeah, I
Okay, you
get the
get the
point.
point.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
had this closing price because I haven't taught support and resistance to anyone. I don't do that. Okay, I only teach smart money. Okay, and then
Okay.
we have this support.
Yeah.
We have this. Now you see, even if I teach smart money, I'm teaching the same thing.
Yeah,
Okay, support and
basically,
resistance.
yes.
I'm combining it. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm just like even for this, I'll call this a rejection block and this a rejection block too. But the only thing is I don't show the trend lines. How we
Yeah.
use the confluence.
Yeah.
Okay, because that's something else. And then
Mhm.
what are the confluences? I told you it has to have what? Liquidity, right? I'm
Yeah.
sorry, liquidity. And the next thing is we have to have a trend line as confluence. Okay, we have to have a trend line as confluence. So I showed you this. First touch, engulfing. Second point, engulfing.
Third point.
Third point, we can expect price to get into these areas. Can you understand it? We can expect price to get into these areas. So now I was waiting to show you. Okay, wait, breakout structure, coming down. Can you see that entry?
Yeah.
Right into it. Tapped. Okay, there it comes. Taps right into it. Like, why are we not even, once again, I'll ask you, why are we not focused on the higher time frames yet? Because we haven't reached the higher time frames yet, the monthly levels. Can you see that? See, daily has never broken structure. Never, not yet. Okay, so let's patiently wait. We're buying it here. How much could be the stop loss once again? 30 pips, just to be safe. Where's our target? Where are our targets? Here. Right? So once again, what is that? You have a 1 to 9. Isn't that enough? More than enough, right?
More than enough.
More than enough. Okay, that is more than enough.
But
So let's wait.
in a live market,
Yeah.
how could you know to take from the opening and closing price or
From
the
here? Yeah, once
because
again,
there were
why?
2 points, right?
Yeah, now the trend line is giving us the confluence right away. See that?
I see
The
it,
trend line is in line with that level. Okay, and also this right here is, I told you, what is that? I told you the open and closing prices of the 4-hour candles, right? Look at this.
Yeah.
3:30 p.m. my time. A new 4-hour candle opens in the next hour.
Yeah.
Okay, so what happens? Wait. Okay, so don't worry. Do not worry. They're just moving around. And there it goes. Okay, wait. Are you going to take cells here? Are you going to take cells from anywhere around here?
No reason.
No reason. Wait. There it goes.
Yeah.
Into the targets. Okay, so what do? Pay yourself here. Now you must go into the higher time frames to monitor it. Why? We are reaching higher time frame levels, right?
Yeah.
We are reaching the higher time frame levels that we marked out. What is that? The monthly open close levels, right? The monthly open close level. So I did have a sell from here, like I showed you, from right here, refining it to a 4-hour zone. Okay, refining it to a 4-hour zone. So now we will be monitoring the higher time frames. Okay, now we will be monitoring the higher time frames. Now, like I told you, now this is the 9th of October. So are you going to wait until the 31st of October to wait for the candle close? No. Then we can do the multi-time frame thing. Now we can look for a daily zone. Okay, so now if price taps into these areas and closes below them, what are we going to do? We can start looking for cells. Yeah, we can start looking for cells. Okay, so let's wait. Now this was the daily zone we had. Now let's wait. And for this, I already showed you the confirmation. Confluence, not a confirmation. Okay. What is that? Trend line.
Yeah.
A very nice trend line like this. Oh, why is the mouse moving? See, first point, second point. Okay, and both the points were engulfing as well. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Engulfing. See, the body is engulfed. And then there it comes break. Then we are expecting it to retest. Okay, we are expecting it to retest. So there we go. We have these levels. We have these levels in here. So now, if it's a daily, if you're looking for a daily storyline, I told you, how will a daily storyline start? Daily has to tap and close below daily. 4 hours, the 1 hour has to break structure.
Yes.
Okay, so now let's wait. So there we go, daily. Okay, wait. There we go. Can you see it? Into the trend line. Daily has closed below the daily. And remember, it is a monthly level as well. You remember that, right? It is a monthly level as well. Okay, so now monthly was in a bearish storyline. the daily is also turning into what? A bearish
Bearish.
storyline, right? Yeah, it has closed below this. Let's go to the 4-hour time frame. The 4-hour has not broken structure yet. So is it enough? Not yet, right?
Not yet.
Not
No.
yet. Okay, so let's wait. Okay, breakout. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Stop fund, breakout structure. What is this? Strong high. Okay, turns into what? Once again, it turns into a strong high. Okay, so now what can we do?
Strong resistance.
Yeah, we strong resistance right here. This and even this.
Yeah.
Okay, because why? A QM kind of thing. Okay, it's like a QM. Okay, so I'll show you. Now in here, of course, I got stopped out at break even first. I'll show you because we had this as confluence right here. If I remember, yeah, it's not this actually. We did have a trend line. I think I drew it from here. This into these zones. I don't remember. Yeah, I think it was from here to this zone or something into this zone. Yeah. Let's see. Okay, the next day. Yeah, this was the one. Sold it right here from the top one.
Mhm.
Right here. Once again, why?
But
4-hour
even though it
candle
was not
closing.
fresh,
Okay, sorry.
I
This
said
was
if
what?
it-
This was a QM kind of thing. A new
Yeah.
resistance. See that? Okay, I told you, right? This one right here. This formation.
But I thought
Okay, so we had that.
if it has to be fresh, I thought, or it's
Now,
not.
now I'll tell you another thing. Okay, these
Okay.
are what we call deep retracements in SNR. Okay, these are what we call deep
Deep
retracements,
retracement.
like which means price has never tapped into. Now there are three. Now that this is not that important. That is why I did not go through it. There are three types of retracements. Okay,
Mhm.
deep, missed, and accurate. Okay, so a deep retracement will be something like this. So let's say we had a resistance
Yeah.
like this. Price has gone through it and then it dropped.
Mm.
We call it a deep retracement. Okay, we call it a
Okay.
deep retracement.
Okay.
A missed one will be something like this, comes very close to it, but it drops.
Yeah.
Missed.
Yeah.
Okay, missed. And then the accurate one be this.
That's instant.
Yeah, tapped and dropped. Okay, so remember, if it is a deep retracement,
Yeah.
or else if it is a missed retracement, like this
Yeah.
level can be used again.
Okay. Okay.
Can you understand it? Okay, so I
Yeah.
did not go into that because you get this very like these are very rare occasions. Okay, you
Yeah.
only get this in very rare occasions. Okay, so this
Okay.
and this can be used again.
Yeah.
Okay, these points can be used again if it is deep, and if it is missed, it can be used again. Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah, there we go. We have a deep retracement because actually this is not even a retracement, right? Price has never tapped into this. It has gone
Yeah.
through it, which means
Yeah.
this level can be used again. Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah, I did sell it here. Like this. Had a 30 pip stop loss once again, like I told you,
Mhm.
and wanted to target these areas first. Okay, wanted to target these areas first. Yeah, it did come down. See that? It did come down. Okay, it came down and then once again break even.
Yeah.
Okay, but remember,
Mhm.
don't worry. Okay, you're not gonna buy it just because price went up from here.
Yeah.
Why?
Because
Because
it didn't
very
tempt.
clearly everything is bearish. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, the market is anyway bearish very clearly. Okay, so
Yeah.
patiently wait. So above this high was looking for another point of interest. So we did not have anything on the daily. See, just
Mhm.
a long wick. On the 4-hour, just a long wick.
Mm.
On the 1-hour, we had this. Can you see a resistance?
Yeah.
Right here. Like, why are we using the 1-hour? Because the daily did not have anything. So obviously the weekly will not have anything.
Yeah.
4-hour did not have anything. So the next time frame we use is the 1-hour
1 hour.
time frame, right? So we
Yeah.
can take a trade from the 1-hour time frame in here. Okay, so this once again I missed it because it played out during the Asian session. Okay, so once again during Asia, look at this. Not yet. There it goes. See,
Yeah. So you.
12:30 p.m. my time. I
Yeah.
don't trade Asia. Okay, I don't always trade Asia, and I wasn't very sure of this sell because no trend line confluence. Can you see?
Yeah. Yeah.
No trend line confluence as well, so had to wait. But yeah, look at the drop though. Boom, melting now. Now comes the bearish momentum. So these days they were just messing around for a little while, and then there it comes, the breakout. Very clearly. Okay, very clearly we got the breakout structure. Okay, very clearly we got the breakout structure. Now, where are our targets? Now you understand this, right? Where are the targets? The
The
monthly
next-
to monthly.
Yeah.
Okay, monthly to monthly. So maybe the next monthly, or else in a monthly to monthly, we will have weekly obstacles, right?
Yeah.
So if we are taking sales here, these areas will be our Next,
Start for-
safe targets actually.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
These are the safe targets, not the final targets, but the safe
Safe,
targets.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So we have these levels right here.
Yeah.
So now I showed you there was a weekly trend line as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all of those are stuff that you should pay attention to only
Mhm.
if you are trading pullbacks. Okay, because now you see how much stuff you need to pay attention, right? You need to pay attention to trend lines, support and resistance levels, open, close levels, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, but
Yeah.
if you are not a fan of trading pullbacks like me, then
Mhm.
just stick to the major like storyline itself. Okay, stay with the major storyline itself. No
Yeah.
problem with that. Okay,
Yeah.
that is what I do. That is what I do. I don't want to trade the pullbacks. I always want to trade the expansion. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Okay.
these, of course, I just paid attention to them because now we know if price closes above these levels, it will go back into the next weekly level, right? It will
Mm.
go back into the next weekly level. So that is why I had it marked out. So I'll show you like this. Now, what are we going to do? We can start looking for cells, right? We can
Yeah.
start looking for cells because very clearly we have a breakout structure even in here. See? Use a line chart. Very clearly the monthly storyline has also begun. Why? One time frame lower has broken structure.
Yeah.
Can you see it? It's
Yeah.
a line chart. You see the breakout structure very clearly.
Yeah.
So what do
Yeah.
we do from that point onwards? We start looking for cells, right? We start looking for cells. Remember, like I personally now, this you can edit if you really want to. I only trade at specific times of the day. Now for support and resistance traders, they trade at any time of the day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Be it Asia, London, New York, whatever. But I personally trade London Kill Zone and London Open, New
Okay.
York Kill Zone and New York Open only. Okay, so
Okay. Okay.
that is in my trading plan. That is included in my trading plan. You can do that if you want to because
Mhm.
you're from Netherlands, right? So you can easily trade the London session.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
London session will be a very easy thing to trade for you. Okay, so now look at this. Now this day, yeah, let me go to the daily time frame. A new day starts here. After this day, I'll show you the entries. Okay, so let's wait. Okay, there we go. A new day is about to begin. Okay, a new day is about to begin. And then first, what's the session? It goes into Asia, right? So we'll have to wait until Asia ends. So for me, London Kill Zone was at, this was October. London Kill Zone was at 11:30. Okay, London Kill Zone was at 11:30. London session was at 12:30. Okay, so for here, of course, I did not take any sales from here because, yeah, even though we had this resistance in here, no confluence.
Yeah.
Can you see it?
Yeah.
No confluence. No trend lines to be drawn. Okay,
Mm.
no trend lines could be drawn. So had to let that go. Had to let that go. So
Mhm.
I'm waiting for the next day. Was waiting for the next day. I'll show you. Okay, what was created in here? A strong resistance, right?
Yeah.
Stop hunt.
Breakout structure.
See, we had a stop hunt in here, and we had a major breakout in here. What is this? A strong high, right? A strong resistance. And then liquidity building up very clearly, equal highs.
Mm.
Can you see it? Equal
Yeah.
highs are building up very clearly in here. So
Mm.
above that, what can we look for? A higher time frame point of interest, right? Because
Yeah.
on the H1, I have so many here, here, and here.
Mm.
But if you go to the if you go to the higher time frames, the guesswork is over. If I go to 4-hour time frame,
Mm.
what do we have? Now, even in the H1, we have this, and this.
Closing price.
But which one has the confluence? What's the confluence once again? A trend line, right? Now,
Yeah.
can you spot the trend line? Can you spot
No.
the trend line? I'll show you. Look at it very clearly. If I put the line chart, can you spot the trend line?
Yes. Now I see it. The upstairs. I can show it, but I think I see
If you
the
could
chart.
annotate, yeah, that's okay if it's wrong. Just
Yeah.
try annotating. Let's see if you can spot the trend line.
I can't. Can I do something with the mouse?
Like maybe just check for a pencil tool or something on top. After clicking the move, you will see an annotation tool. No?
No.
Like click on those 3 dots that says move and then try to use the annotation tool. Nothing? Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I'll show you. Okay, I'll show you. Look at this. What is this? Engulfing. What is this? Engulfing. Okay, so first point, second point. What are we expecting? The third point to get here, right? Into these areas.
It's also a QM what I can see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can have that. And yeah, we had, I think, something like this. And then we had this trend line as well. But this wasn't a very
Yeah.
good trend line because
that one I
points
saw.
were not, the points were not engulfing.
Mm,
Okay, but yeah, look at this. We have two trend line confluences.
mhm.
Patiently wait, patiently wait. The next thing I'll be waiting for is what? Timing. Okay, I'll be waiting for timing.
Mm.
So this move happened. This was the Asian high. Okay, this was an Asian high.
Mhm.
This happened right at, there it goes, right at London kill zone, 11:30 a.m. my time. There it goes. So now you see why we skip this one, right? Why do we skip this level? Because
It
the
didn't
confluence
align
is
with
here.
the trend line.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You see the importance of confluences, right? So there
Yeah,
it goes.
yeah.
Taps. Now I'm selling it here. First target is where? External range liquidity or is whatever. Okay. So like this. Stop loss above the strong high.
Yeah.
14 pips this time. See that? And then I had another entry in here. Let me show you. Breakout. Can you see that? We had a breakout and this trend line was starting to form. A break and retest. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay, you'll have to train your eyes. Okay, like I told you, I'm not going to tell you this is simple. Okay, you'll have to train your eyes. So there it goes. And then if the next candle comes up, if it taps into the trend line, okay, see, this is how I will like use trend lines to refine the zones. Okay, if
Yeah.
the next candle is the candle that's coming up here, you can
Mhm.
draw a vertical line like this. Okay, so because this will be, just imagine that this will be the next candle.
Yeah.
So where is the trend line trapping into? Here.
Yeah.
Can you see that? Right here.
Yeah.
So which means that is the imbalance or else once again the open close levels.
Yeah.
Okay. So what happened? Look at this.
Exactly.
Another drop.
Yeah.
Can you see that? Okay. So then what you do is pay yourself down here. Leave the rest into where? Into the monthly zone.
Yeah.
Or else into the weekly zone.
Hmm.
Like this. Can you understand that? You're leaving
Yeah.
it here.
Yeah.
Okay. You will be leaving it here. And then again, wait. Okay. Wait for the next day. We're going to wait for the next day. There it comes down. Okay, there it comes down. So every single new day, you can start from the daily time frame because now the expansion has begun, right? Now we are
Mhm.
expecting all the daily resistance to hold, every
Yeah.
daily resistance to hold. Okay, but this example I already showed you. What did we have
Mhm.
here? A daily support. Price
Yeah.
has closed above it. So once again, a little daily to daily storyline from here to here, right? A daily support to daily resistance.
Yeah.
Okay, very clearly you can see that, right?
Yeah.
Very clearly you can see. Okay, and then what are the confirmations to see that to tell that this level will hold? One time frame or as two time frames lower has to break structure.
Break. Yeah.
Right? So now let's wait. Now we're waiting. Okay, wait. What happened? Breakout structure.
Yeah.
So now we are safe to buy this, right? We are
Mhm.
safe to buy it. I even drew a trend line from somewhere around here, if I remember. I think not from here. Something like this, I guess. Because this point was already below the higher time. No, I don't remember. Yeah, we had some type of a trend line, but you see what happened here, right? The trend lines are actually not necessary if you understand structure, but only to get some extra confidence you use
Mhm.
that. Okay,
Mm.
only to
Yeah.
get some extra confidence you use that. So there we go. Tapped into this breakout structure. Okay,
Mm.
breakout structure. So what happens? Now once again you wait for this. This is Asia. You wait for
Mhm.
Asia to end, and
Mm.
then London kill zone or London open. So for me, London kill zone is at 11:30. London
Yeah.
session is at 12:30.
Yeah.
Okay, so like this. London kill zone is at 11:30. London session is at 12:30.
Mhm.
New York kill zone is at 4:30. New York session is at 5:30. So this will be the time zones where I look for entries. Okay, because at this time of the day is when the major moves happen actually. Okay, during the session opening. So let's see. Asian low taken out right at 11:30.
Yeah.
Okay, so what am I doing? Buying it here. Where am I buying it from? Once again, from that same daily level.
Yeah.
Can you see it? Same daily level. Okay, buying it. Stop loss can go below these lows. 12 pips. Where am I targeting? The next daily level. Or is this high? A high that failed to create a low below liquidity.
Yeah.
Okay, liquidity like this. Now let's wait. What happened? There it goes. Oh,
Mm.
into the targets. You're done. Either you're done with the buy, or else if you want to stack some entries, since you know we are on a bearish storyline.
Mhm.
What is this? The daily level. What are the confluences we have? A trend line. From here, second touch, third touch. Can you see this? Right here. Okay. So what happened? what happened? Now we have this trend line confluence. Remember, trend line is not the entry, okay? Only confluence, only
Yeah.
confluence.
Yeah.
Stop loss can go above these wicks if you want to 15 pips, or else if you are not very sure of these zones, you can have like a 25 pip stop loss. In here, of course, I had a 20 pip stop loss.
Mm.
And then where are we targeting? Here first, external range liquidity, right?
Yeah.
So what happened?
Yeah.
There it goes. Look at the timing, right at 4:30
Instant.
p.m. London kill zone.
Yeah.
Okay, so taps. Now, since we are in a bearish storyline, the sell has to be quicker than the buy, right? Obviously. So what happened? There it comes.
Done.
Boom. Done. Okay, you pay yourself here, leave the rest here.
Yeah.
Into the next weekly zone. Can you understand that? Okay,
I
you leave the
understand.
rest into the next
Yeah.
weekly zone. Okay, so then what do you do? What do you do? Until it gets into these areas once again, you're gonna keep on selling it, right? So
Mm.
let me actually put some vertical lines on the daily time frame, so that way when that vertical line comes, we can switch to the daily time frame. Or it's like this. Yeah, now let's go to the lower time frames. Now what are we going to do? Every single time the market comes up, we'll be looking for sells. Okay, we will be looking for sells. So let's wait now. So on the daily, did we have any other zones? No. The next zones on the daily are all the way around here. Can you see that? Okay, so
Yeah.
until it goes here, we can start looking for sells. Okay, we can start looking for sells. So now, where would the next candle open? In here, right?
Mhm.
So what is this? We have another open close level in here.
Yeah.
Can you see that? We had an open close level in here. Let's see how we could have taken an entry. Let's go to the 1 hour time frame. Like this. Okay, let's see how we could have taken an entry. Okay, there we go. A new day has started. Can you see that? A
Yeah.
new day has started. So what do
Yeah.
we do? We wait for Asia to end. And at what time of the day do we trade? 11:30 or 12:30 my time, London
Mm.
kill zone or London open.
Yeah.
At this time of the day. Okay, so let's see at this time of the day what's gonna happen. Okay, price is starting to fall down, building some resistances. Let's see if we have any confluence. Do we have any? Let's check the 4-hour time frame. Yeah, I think so. First touch, second touch. Yeah, I think we have this. Can you see that? First touch, second touch. So hopefully price gets here. Third touch into this or as this.
Yeah.
Can you see it?
Yeah.
Either one of
Yeah.
those zones. Okay, so let's see. But even this zone is lining up with that level, right? So let's take an entry here with our stop loss. Now I did not take the trade. Okay, that's why I'm still like, this is like looking at it in real time. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I don't know. So let's see. Maybe we can take a trade here with our stop loss above this one.
Yeah.
Sell. Stop loss somewhere around here. 25 pips just to be safe. And yeah, let's have like a 100 pip target just to be safe. Okay, let's see. Oh shit, we missed it. Ah, what happened? Okay, now let's say, but price has not tapped into it yet. So let's
Yeah.
see, maybe
Maybe it will
this
come
high,
back.
yeah, this London high will be taken out maybe during New
Yeah.
York session.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's wait for 4:30 or as 5:30. Okay, let's wait. Let's have the same entry and wait because I have no idea where else to enter because this is where
Mhm.
trend line is lining up.
Yeah.
Okay, there it
Tap.
comes.
Yeah.
Taps. There it comes. Taps. We had a trend line, went a bit too far. It's okay.
Hmm.
Ah, yeah, there it comes.
Maybe the trend
Yeah,
line was not
100 pips.
45 to 60 degrees.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Okay, so those are stuff now you can like maybe like first write down a trading plan. Okay,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
before making a trading plan, you have to first like of course you have to backtest all of this stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, because other than like without understanding this, you can't just make a trading plan. No use.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe just take our profits here, and then what do? Leave the rest into these areas.
Yeah.
The next weekly zones. This is how we can stack these entries. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
this is how we can stack the entries. Okay, so there it comes. So now let's patiently wait. We have gotten our entry already. Yeah, so what happened was actually the London high was taken out. See?
Yeah.
Yeah, into this resistance over here.
Yeah.
Okay, London high taken out into this resistance and then it trapped. So now, since you have the understanding of smart money concept, so that's better actually because
Yeah.
or
It
else if I'm
makes it
teaching-
stronger.
yeah, it makes it strong because if I'm teaching purely support and resistance someone else, it will be very hard, right? Very
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah.
Because how am I going to teach this? This high is London high and all that stuff. No, this is good actually. Okay, so let's wait. Okay. Okay. A new day is about to begin. So where can we start from? From the daily time frame once again. Right?
Yes.
Yeah, let's start from the daily time frame. What are the next daily zones of interest we have? What are the next zones we have? The next candle opens here. We have an imbalance and as well as the open close level in here.
Yes.
Can you see it? We had the
Yeah.
open close levels in here. Let's see, time will decide what to do. Okay, time, and if we have trend line confluence, that.
Yeah.
Okay, so there we go. I think this is too far up because this already looks like a strong high, right?
Mm.
Already looks like a strong high. Okay, so let's wait. Where are the 4-hour POIs? Yeah, on the 4-hour we have this and these levels. Can you see that? We have these levels on the 4-hour time frame
Mm.
and this closing price as well. Let's see. Okay, let's see what the trend line is showing us. Okay.
Yeah.
Engulfing. Let's see. There it comes, engulfing. Yeah, let's see where price is gonna tap into next day. Okay. Okay, new day is about to begin. Can you see that? A
Yeah.
new day is about to begin. So once again, at what times do we trade? London kill zone or London open. See, like we're not
Yeah.
going to jump in on every single setup we see. Okay,
Mm.
this is discipline actually. Okay, so you can do this if you want to, but I
Mhm.
only trade at this time of the day. I don't
Yeah.
care about these Asian set times. Okay, so let's wait. Okay, wait. Oh, I tapped into the trend line. Too early, Asia. It's falling from the trend line. Can you see that? Falling from the trend line and also created a strong high.
Yeah.
Top hunt, breakout structure. Can you see it? So
Yeah.
can we expect the market to get into these areas again? No, right? Because
No.
it has already created a strong high. Now,
Mm.
did you see where the sell came from? From a trend line. Do you think anyone will have an idea where it came from? No idea.
No.
No idea. Yeah, right from a trend line. Okay, so that's why I told you trend lines are also good,
Yeah.
but like
But-
I don't just use it alone. No, I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
use it all together. Okay, I use it all together.
So if
let's wait.
if it's along the trend line, then you ignore the trade.
Yeah, I'll ignore the trade because
Yeah.
for me it must line up with some higher time frame level,
Mhm.
or else it's not that high, not
Yeah.
that good actually.
Yeah.
Okay, if price came here, at least I would have sold it. See that? That's the closing price. See a resistance. If price got here after taking out this high, I would have sold it here. But this now, no, no way. Like for me, if I'm selling it, my limit would have been here,
Mm.
expecting London kill zone or London to come here. Can you understand? So no trades, because if the setup isn't clear, you're not going to take the trade. Very simple. Okay,
Yeah.
if the setup isn't clear, you're not going to take the trade because it's like this. Like you see nothing, you take nothing. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so if you do not know what you're trading, then what's the point of
Then
taking an entry, right?
It's
No point.
difficult.
No
Yeah.
point. Okay, so let
Yeah.
it go. Let it go. So no entries this day. No entries during actually New York kill zone. I'm sorry,
Mhm.
London kill zone. So now let's wait for New York kill zone, 4:30 and 5:30. Can you see that? So even at this time of the day, we can take trades. And what is this? A weekly trend line.
Yeah.
If you remember, right? It's a weekly trend line. So if it is a weekly trend line, what can we expect? If the 4-hour 4-hour has tapped into it already, and if the 4-hour turns bullish, what can we do? What can we do? We can start looking for buys, because why? We know that a weekly storyline has begun then.
Yeah.
Can you understand it? Then
Yeah.
we know that a new weekly storyline has started. Okay, so let's
Yeah.
wait. Let's see if the weekly has already. Yeah, look at that. Weekly has tapped into it. Let's go to the 4. Let me go to the 4-hour. Put the replay tool. No, let me draw a line here because you see it's not that easy to back test. Okay, because
Yeah.
like
Because of the
the
higher
weekly
time
candle will
frames.
be played. Yeah, the
Yeah.
weekly candle will be already played.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think this is where the weekly candle. We put some other color. Okay, there we go. Okay, so here, if now remember, if the current market closes above these levels
Mhm.
on this day, what do we know? Weekly has closed above that level. So we have to look for another weekly level, right? We have to look
Yeah.
for the next weekly level to sell it from.
Yeah.
Okay, the next weekly level to sell it from. So let's wait. Okay. Wait. Now it is starting to shoot up. Can you see that?
Yeah.
It is starting to shoot up. No clear breaks on the H4 yet. Yeah. A break of a swing high. Can you see that?
Mm.
A break of a swing high that created a lower low.
Yeah.
Can you see it?
Yeah.
A swing
I
high
see
that
it.
created a
Yeah.
lower low has been broken. So which means the 4-hour has already given us the signal, right? What's the signal? That the market
Buy.
wants to go higher.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now these are the days now, like maybe you must wait. You must play the waiting game because your
Mhm.
cells are already running from here because you're not very sure what the market is going to do in here, right?
Yeah.
Not very sure what the market is going to do in here. So patiently wait. Okay,
Mm.
patiently wait. Okay. Now it is shooting up. I think this was wrong actually. This candle right here.
Mm.
Let's put the replay tool once again in here. Yeah. Yeah, look at this. The weekly, yeah, has tapped the trend line and it has closed above it already.
Yeah.
Can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay, it has closed above it already. The breakout structure that I showed you, it happened after a very long time actually. Okay, so there it goes. Taps and it has closed above it.
Yeah.
So which means, what are your next weekly zones? What are your next weekly zones for you to sell it from? Okay, next candle opens here.
Yeah.
This could be a open close level.
Yeah.
Oh, and above it, we have another one, open close level.
Yeah.
Can you see it? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Daily. So now if it is a weekly to weekly storyline, we will have daily obstacles, right? So these
Mhm.
areas and these areas could act as obstacles too.
Yeah. Yeah.
This may be refined here. I remember price tapping here. Okay. So let's see. Yeah, that's GT. Okay, let's see. 4-hour time frame. There we go. Okay. Yeah, there we get the breakout structure after closing above the trend line, we get a
Yeah.
breakout structure on the 4-hour.
Yeah.
Okay, we get a breakout structure on the 4-hour. So now until it gets into these areas, what do? We buy it.
Yeah.
We buy it. Okay, so in here, of course, we had a nice trend line that I did not go through. Okay, but it's not that important. These are also like you get this in some rare times. See, first touch, second touch, the reversal trend line has been broken. So even it will act as this.
Yes.
Can you see that? Okay, so I'll just show it to you. I don't use it very often.
Mm.
I don't use it at all. I do not
Mm.
even take this entry. I remember seeing this in hindsight. Okay, so that's why I took this. Okay, so there you go. So trend lines can be used this way too, but I do not know the significance of these points.
Mm.
Okay, so I can't teach you that. I do not know how that plays out.
Yeah.
Okay, so let
Okay.
it go. Let it go. So now remember, until it gets into these zones, what are you doing? Buying it, right? You're
Yeah.
gonna buy it.
Yeah.
Okay, and then let's see what are the trend line confluences we have into these zones. Okay, let's see. Engulfing. Yeah, we have this one. 2 engulfing points. Can you see that?
Mhm.
Engulfing here. Okay, not here, not yet into these zones.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have this level in here. Let's wait and see. Let's wait and see. Now you can buy it. You can buy it. Okay, you can safely buy it. Why can you buy it? Until it gets into these areas, because we are in a new
Yeah,
bullish storyline, right?
Yeah.
We are in a new bullish storyline. So until it gets here, we can still buy it. Okay, we can still buy it. So let's see. Let's see how we can buy it. Let's go to the daily time frame. Put the replay tool here. Okay. Yeah, a new day starts now. Can you see that? A
Mhm.
new day starts.
Mm.
Until it goes here, what can you do? You can look for a buy setup.
Buys,
Okay,
yeah.
you can look for a buy setup. Where do we have a buy setup? Okay, we have this trend line. Can you see this?
Mhm.
Break and retesting.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see if price comes here. Let's buy it with our stop loss here, like this. Because why we have these levels as well? Can you see it?
Yeah. As a POI.
Close levels, yeah, a POI. Stop loss, let's place it somewhere around here and target these areas at least for 60 pips. If it comes here, okay. But if it goes here and then comes here, are you gonna buy it? No, no way. Okay, you'll have to wait. Because why this is tapping into that weekly zone once again. Can you understand that again? Let's wait. No, it's not coming here. Let it go. Yeah. Okay, there it goes into our level.
Yeah.
There it goes. Taps. Now, at what time of the day do we trade? I told you. London kill zone
and
or London open.
open. New York
New
kill
York
zone,
kill
New York
zone.
open.
4:30 p.m. or New York open. Can you see how our timing is perfect?
Mhm.
On the dot. Now, let's say you did not take any trades here. No problem. Look at this. 4:30 p.m. 4:30 p.m. What happened? Right at the trend line once again.
Yeah.
Good to go. Okay, I think if you use a lower time frame, your price never tapped into these areas
Oh, yeah.
until the kill zone, 4:30 p.m. Can you see that? Okay, so
See.
it tapped. Then what happens? Melt. Boom.
Oh.
There comes the drop. Okay, so once again you take a sell here. Okay, you take a sell here, and then leave the rest into. Now this level has already played out because this was the trend line that we targeted.
Mhm.
The next levels can be here, the next weekly level.
Mm.
Can you remember what we marked out earlier?
Yeah.
Here comes the next weekly levels. The next weekly targets will be all the way down here. So if you take sells here, now this is coming from a weekly zone. We had some confluence too. That is why we take the high risk entry. Where can you target? Once
The
again,
next
a weekly zone, right?
Yeah.
In here, the only thing about this is now we do not know how to trade the pullbacks properly. But you see, these are not safe anyway, right?
Yeah.
The pullbacks are not safe anyway. These are
Yeah.
the safe ones.
Mhm.
Okay,
The
these will be
continuation.
safe
Yeah.
ones. Yeah, the continuations. Okay, so this of course now this you can't hold it anyway because this
Yeah.
was a break.
Does-
Yeah, we can see.
Yeah.
Because we targeted the trend line for this somewhere around here, so we could have paid ourselves there. But
Yeah.
right now it is a break here.
Yeah.
Okay, but this still it could be held. So let's wait.
Mhm.
Let's go to the daily. Let's mark out the new days. It puts the red color, daily, daily, daily. Let's look at 4 days of entries. Okay, let's see. Okay, now what are we going to do? Wait for the new day to start, right? We're going to wait for the new day to start.
Yeah.
And then trade at the times I told you. Okay, the
Yeah.
times that I trade London kill zone and London open, New
Mhm.
York kill zone and New York open. Okay, so
Yeah.
let's see. Okay, what happened? A new day is about to begin. Okay, a new day is about to begin. Let's patiently wait. Okay, there it comes. At what time of the day do we trade? London kill zone at 11:30.
Yes.
New York, London session at 12:30. If we miss this, then we look for New York kill zone or New
Yeah.
York open. Okay,
Yeah.
New York kill zone or New York open. Okay, so let's see. What has price done? Breakout once again, breakout structure.
Yeah.
Okay, so this turns into a resistance, right? Turns into a resistance. Oh, I showed you this setup already. What are the confluences into this zone? We have a trend line. First touch, second touch, both are engulfing, right? Both are
Yeah.
engulfing.
Yeah.
Like this. Look at this. Now these are the, like I told you, these are the best type of setups. Okay, the setups where we can go full margin. Why?
Mhm.
Time is also perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, look at this. Timing is perfect. We had another trend line like this. I showed you.
Double trend line confirmation.
Yeah, double trend line confirmation, resistance, and all that stuff. So let's wait.
Yeah.
Let's wait. Okay, look at the timing. Liquidity right below it.
Another
Another
confidence.
confluence. Yeah. Okay, so then sell it. Stop loss above this high maybe, or else let's say I think I had a 20 pip stop loss or something, and then where do we target?
The
Yeah.
next weekly.
The next weekly. Okay, so what happened? Look at that. Look how perfect it is.
Oh,
Two trend lines. Okay, resistance, liquidity, timing is also perfect. I told you timing can be used as a confluence, right?
yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Right at London kill zone. There it goes. Taps, melting. Boom.
Damn.
Can you let me end this? Let me show you right now, because so that way you know these are not hindsight stuff. Okay, so let me show you. Let me show it to you quickly. Where did we have it? We send it to you on Telegram. Okay, let me check.
Okay.
Where did we have it? Give me a second. Okay, I'm looking for that trade. Oh, here it is. Yeah, look at that. Same entry. The entries that I'm showing you right now. Just check Telegram, you'll see it. Okay.
I didn't receive it yet. Let's see. It's some yeah, now I see it.
Look at that. And
Yeah.
these are empty 4 screenshots. Okay, not
Yeah,
even
yeah,
trading.
yeah.
Can you see it?
Yeah, I
Can you
see
see
it.
them?
Wow.
Like, can you see the top ones? These ones.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
These ones
yeah,
as well. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so
yeah.
selling that and then sells from here. Okay.
Uh,
So you see that, right? Same exact thing that I'm showing you here.
Yeah,
Same
yeah,
exact thing.
yeah.
Okay, so like just to show you that these are not hindsight stuff. Okay, you see that, right? Tap, and then it starts to drop. You see that, right?
Yeah,
Very clearly.
yeah, see
Okay, very
it.
clearly it starts
Yeah.
to fall. So there it comes. There it comes. Okay, so now since we already have an entry, what do we do? Like, do we go for more trades? No, wait now. Okay, just patiently wait.
Yeah.
We can maybe wait for the next day to end and then trade the next day, right? Let's trade the next day. Let's see.
Yeah.
There it comes, there it drops. Ah, don't worry. Don't worry about this. There comes a new day.
Mm.
Okay, there comes a new day. What can we do? We can start from a daily time
Daily
frame,
time
right? We can
frame,
start from the
yes.
daily time frame.
Yes.
Check what we have. Next candle opens here. We do have these zones in here, open close levels. Can you see that?
Yeah.
We have these open
Yeah.
close levels here. Let's go to the 4 hour. Do we have any confluence? Engulfing. No, this is engulfing. No. Because like we can't draw a trend line like this this is too steep. You can see that, right? That's
Yeah.
too steep. Okay, so
Yeah.
no trend lines on the 4 hour. Let's go to the H1.
But normally we wait until it touch daily and wait for the closure, right?
Yeah, maybe like we can just even look for the daily and then wait for a closure. Or else, like, why are we adding trend lines just for confluence? That
Yeah,
way we know
yeah.
this zone is gonna hold. So even
Okay,
before the
okay.
daily closes, we can take the trade.
Mhm,
Some are direct
okay.
entries. You see that, right? Some
Yeah.
of them are direct entries.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Let's wait. Let's wait.
Okay.
No trend lines actually. So I think it's better to wait. Okay, it's wait. Let's wait. Let's just wait. Okay, new day starts. At what time do we trade? 11:30 or else 12:30. 11:30, 12:30. Let's wait. Okay, price is already falling. And what do we have? A strong high has been created.
Yeah.
Stop hunt. Break of structure.
Even though it didn't tap into the daily, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's fine because now we can't
Okay.
ignore this, right? Yeah, we cannot
Okay.
ignore this. This is a strong resistance as well now. Okay. So
Okay.
now we can't ignore this. Now price has taken out this liquidity as well. Now, if you add smart money into this, you can see that the major breakout structure we have is bearish.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the counter trends are also showing us these bearish intentions. Okay, counter trends are also showing us these bearish intentions. And the range we had was from here. Strong high, low of the range.
Yeah.
Internal range liquidity taken out. Now price is coming into the external range liquidity, something like that. Okay, so smart money combined, okay, a little bit of smart money. Okay, and then now what can we do when a strong high is created? We can go into the higher time frames to check our point of interest, right? Let's go to the 4 hour time frame. What is this? Open close level.
Yeah.
Yeah, right here. Let's go to the H1. What do we have right below it? We have some liquidity.
Yeah.
Liquidity confluence. And do we have a trend line? I guess so. Engulfing. This is not engulfing though, but it broke structure. Can you see that? Second point has broken structure.
Yeah.
So let's try drawing it like this, or else from here. This would be a good one. Yes, can you see?
Yeah.
Like this. Okay, let's draw it like this.
It's perfect confluence.
Yeah, because liquidity is also there. Okay,
Yeah.
let's sell it here. Stop loss, say 25 pips. First target, external range liquidity. Okay, external range liquidity. Let's wait. Not yet. A little bit late, but yeah, there it comes.
Yeah. Oh.
A little late, okay, like 1 hour late, but there it comes. Taps. Now you can even refine these zones. How can you refine it? On the H1, what did you have? QML.
Yeah.
See that? So maybe price has that. Yeah, right into that. See that?
Yeah.
Right into that, and then. Okay, wait.
Melt.
There it comes. Melting. There it comes. Nice. Do we look for more trades during New York? No, who cares, right? We have already taken our entry. Okay, so then pay yourself here, leave the rest into the next weekly zone.
Yeah.
The next weekly zone. Okay, so now I think it came down already. Yeah. So can you see how we stacked up all these entries?
Yeah, I see it's
Saw that,
magic.
right? So not magic, actually, like just a mixture of trend lines, smart money, like you see,
Yeah.
how
Storyline.
will a smart money trader tell you an odd block is gonna hold? No idea, right? But
No idea.
can you see now? Right now, you can tell if an odd block is gonna hold or not using the trend lines.
Yeah.
Can you see that?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
this, I love these types of trend lines. See,
Yeah.
look at that. Okay, now we had another example. I don't know where it was on. It was on GBPUSD.
Mhm.
Let me see if I have the screenshot. Because most of the time I trade on MT4, so it's trading your screenshots aren't there.
Yeah.
Let me show you. Mm. Let's see, let me see. Oh, actually, I have. Give me a second, okay? I'm trying to find out the screenshots. Yeah, I have a private channel where I post them. Yeah, check this one out. Same exact setup the other way. Okay, just try checking that out. Same exact setup the other way
Yeah.
on GBP.
Yeah. I see it.
Can you see the two trend lines?
Yeah.
Taps and then it starts to go up. Okay, that
Yeah.
was another one. Let's see, we had more. We had more. Let me show you. There you go, another one.
Mm.
Look at that.
Wow. 100 tips.
Like I have written the confluence for breakout, H4 break, and retest trend line plus H1 or see
Yeah.
all that stuff. Okay,
Yeah.
same
Yeah.
stuff that I'm showing you. Okay, so let's see.
It's amazing.
Yeah, you see that, right? Like it is possible actually. Okay. Yeah, let me show you. Yeah, see, this was also another one. You can see how I have marked out the zone. Like until it goes there, look
Mhm.
what I do.
Yeah.
Until it goes there, yeah, look at that. The
Wow.
next one that I showed you.
Yeah.
Buying it until the next zone, and then we're
Yeah.
selling it from that zone. Okay, so I
Basically,
don't remember what other confluences
yeah.
we had.
Mm.
Yeah, look at this one.
Basically trading from zone to zone. That's it.
Zone to zone, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so look at this. This was another one. Yeah, look at the next one.
Yeah.
I don't even remember where it was. Can you see the trend line confluences and all
I see
that?
it. I see it.
Selling it, buying it. So you can do any of that. Okay, you
Yeah.
can do all of that.
Yeah.
All it takes is practicing. Okay, because nothing can be done without the practice. Okay, so
True.
I think there are more. I'll show
Yeah.
you more.
A lot of back testing or forward testing.
Yeah, back testing and forward testing.
Mm.
Check the next one, you'll see that. Look at that. Trend lines, confluence,
Yeah.
high time frame zones. There it comes. See that? Strong highs and that same thing.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see if we have more. Yeah, this was the final trade. Yeah, the small lot sizes are because like for the screenshot purposes, I leave the 0.01. Okay, look at the final one.
Oh.
Can you see that entry?
Yeah,
It was
I see
based
it.
on a range actually. Let me
Yeah.
quickly show it to you. Final trade was based on a range. Okay, the final example that I showed you. A storyline and a range. Okay, see?
Combo.
Yeah, what is this? A strong high.
Strong high.
Top one.
Yeah.
Breakout structure. Now I'm showing you the entry that I showed you, the
Mhm.
final entry.
Yeah.
Breakout structure. High of the range. How do you know the high has created the low of the range? Bullish breakout structure.
Yes.
High of the range, low of the range.
Yeah.
Internal range liquidity. Okay. And what is this? A resistance. Can you see it? Resistance? Sold it here. Okay, sold it right here.
Yeah.
And where do I target? External range liquidity. Okay.
Aligns with the weekly.
Aligns with the weekly and a 20 pip stop loss.
Wow.
Can you see? This is the same exact entry that I showed you, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Same
Yeah.
exact
Yeah.
entry.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you see that, right? Okay, so
Yeah.
like, can you understand this stuff? Let me know. Was it clear?
Yeah. Yeah. It's really clear. An eye opener, definitely. And, yeah.
See now, don't think these are retail stuff. Okay, these can be used. These can
Yeah,
be used.
the funny thing is the key levels, they align with SMC key levels most of the
Exactly.
time. The only
Because
thing
order
is
blocks are open close
exactly,
levels.
yeah.
Breakers are RBS and SBR.
Yeah.
Rejection blocks are support and resistance levels, like I showed you.
Yeah.
Okay, the A's and the B's and SBR.
Yeah.
Rejection blocks, these are retail stuff. Okay, these can be used. These can
Yeah,
be used.
the funny thing is the key levels, they align with SMC key levels most of the
Exactly.
time. The only
Because
thing
order
is
blocks are open close
exactly,
levels.
yeah.
Breakers are RBS and SBR.
Yeah.
Rejection blocks are support and resistance levels, like I showed you.
Yeah.
Okay, the A's and the B's. The same exact thing. That's why I
Yeah.
told you ICT have like renamed all the stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, it is
Yeah.
basically like the way we do, like, I don't know, the way I do smart money was
Mhm.
from those days. It was like unknowingly, yeah, like without knowingly,
SNR.
like I
Yeah,
have done SNR. I have
yeah,
done SNR. So that's why I quickly grasp the concept. Okay,
yeah,
so
yeah.
yeah.
Wow.
So can you understand this stuff? Let me know.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, bro. This is yeah. I will
And
rewatch the recording, and yeah,
yeah,
I think maybe I will have another many questions or few.
yeah, yeah.
Then I hope I can drop you a message, and then
Yeah,
yeah,
if you have any questions, just drop me
yeah,
a message. Okay,
yeah.
but right now you understood the stuff that I showed
Yeah,
you,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. Right now the storyline is much more clear.
Clear.
Yeah, and also how to draw it. So,
Yeah,
and
like
also
even
the.
right now, see,
Mhm,
yeah, if the weekly closes below this,
mhm,
and our 4 hour has already broken structure, so now tomorrow, okay, tomorrow is a Friday.
mhm.
If Friday closes below this level, where is your next target? These levels,
Yeah,
weekly to weekly,
yeah.
quick weekly to weekly. Okay, now because 4 hour has already broken structure, the next
Mhm,
thing we want to say is the weekly closing below it.
yeah.
Then these areas will be our next zones of interest. So obviously tomorrow, like, even with Asia, it might come here only 130 pips. It's
Mhm,
nothing on goal.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
so just pay attention to that stuff. Okay,
yeah.
every single new month,
Mhm,
pay attention to the new candle.
yeah.
Okay, just
Okay.
pay attention to the old candle actually. Where did it close? How did it close?
Yeah,
Okay, every
yeah.
single new week, pay attention to the weekly to see
Mhm,
where did the weekly close.
yeah.
Every single new day, try paying attention to the daily to see where the daily has
Very cool.
closed.
Yeah,
Okay, and then
yeah,
if all the time frames are in line with each other,
yeah.
you add some trend line confluences. You use the times that we trade. I told you London Kill
Mhm,
Zone and London
mhm,
Open, or
mhm.
New York Kill Zone and New York Open, and then you take the trade.
Yeah,
Okay, you just
yeah,
take the trade.
yeah.
Okay, that's all we do.
This is
So
a
if
trick.
you are
Yeah,
trading pullbacks, yeah, if you are trading pullbacks,
yeah,
okay, so make sure you have to have safe targets always because
yeah.
we never know when the pullback will end. Okay, so
Exactly. Yeah.
if you are trading range expansions,
Mhm,
okay, just make sure you leave a runner until the next targets itself, until the
yeah.
next storyline itself.
How
Okay,
many
so
percent do you live
yeah,
for a runner?
like me personally, now since I'm an intraday trader, intraday I'll take off at least 70%. 70%
Okay,
will be taken off because
okay, okay.
there's no point of leaving runners, right? Because
Yeah,
tomorrow I'll anyway come to the charts again. So what's
yeah,
the point of just leaving huge runners?
yeah,
Okay, so
yeah,
that is what I personally do. So that depends though. Okay,
yeah,
that
yeah.
completely depends on how you want to trade. Okay, now first backtest this stuff. Okay,
Yeah, sure,
backtest. And
sure,
since
sure.
you already have a smart money background, so
It
yeah,
will.
you
It should
can
be a
make
little bit easier.
yeah, so that way you know which order blocks are gonna hold or not, and
Yeah,
you will know
yeah,
which strong highs and lows on lower time frames that you should ignore,
yeah,
right? Because
yeah,
like
yeah.
let's say you have a daily to daily storyline from here to here, but there's
Mhm.
a 4 hour strong, like let's say a 1 hour strong low in here, are you gonna buy it here?
No,
No, the
no.
next target is here. Why would you
Yeah,
buy it here?
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
you see that, right? So
yeah,
now this storyline thing will be very powerful. Okay,
yeah,
it will be
yeah,
very powerful. So
yeah.
yeah, try back
Okay,
testing it.
and
And you have a question? Yeah.
yeah, one last question regarding the trend line,
Yeah. Yeah.
the engulfing trend line kind.
Yes.
It was the continuation trend line, correct?
It's a continuation trend
Okay,
line.
okay. And
Okay,
the
it
other
is a
one, the
continuation trend
reversal,
line.
it's with
Yeah, this right here will
yeah,
be a continuation trend line. So these 2 points must be engulfing.
yeah,
Okay,
okay,
these
okay.
2 points.
Yeah,
It's better if it is engulfing, but I told you it's like this. This
yeah,
second point has to break,
yeah,
it has to engulf,
yeah, yeah,
then this will be a very good
yeah,
trend line, a continuation trend line, a bullish continuation. Okay, so something like this. So pay
yeah,
attention to this.
yeah. The only thing is to spot the right trend lines.
Yes, to spot the right trend line, because now how do you spot the right trend line? You see if that trend line is in line with the higher time frame zone.
Yeah, yeah,
In line with the higher time frame zone. Let's say you
yeah.
have a daily zone in here.
Mhm.
Like, are you just gonna draw a 1 hour trend line like this and then take the buy here? No, the
Oh,
daily is stronger, right? You're
yeah,
gonna
yeah,
look for a trend line that is coming like this into the daily zone.
yeah,
So then you know this might be the right one.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So how do
Okay.
you know this is the right one? Liquidity must be above it.
Above it,
This has
yes.
to reach here with the right time, the
Yeah,
proper time.
yeah.
London Kill Zone, London Open, New York Kill Zone, or New
Mm,
York Open.
mm.
Because those are the times when the major moves for the day happen.
Okay,
Okay.
okay.
Yeah. Okay. So what
All
else?
right.
What else?
Yeah, for now, nothing. Who knows?
Now,
Everything clear for now. So I will
yeah.
do my homework, practicing, and
Yeah,
then
do practicing.
yeah,
Okay.
and whenever I have a
Yeah.
question, I will reach out to you.
No problem. So
All
yeah,
right.
just drop me a message if you have any questions.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
All
All
right,
right.
bro.
Thank
Then
you,
that's it
bro.
from me.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Have a
Thank
good
you.
day.
All right.
Bye bye.